everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the MinnMax Show, place about games, friends, and getting better. My name is Ben Hansen, joined by one Haley McLean.
Hi, gamers.
Hi, gamers. And the gamers are going to hear from one Jeff Marchiafava.
That's me.
And we're very fortunate to be joined once more by Easy Allies' own Michael Huber.
Oh, hello. Thank you for having me so much.
Oh my gosh. Honor to have you. How you feeling?
Great. Excited to talk about these games today.
I am also excited to talk about these games because we're going to be talking about Mafia: The Old Country. And when you're playing a new Mafia game and you have those feelings of like, okay, it's a prequel. How does this compare to the other ones? Who connects to what? If only there was some master of the Mafia here. And I'm not talking about Jeff Marchiafava's frickin' family. I'm talking about Michael Huber, a fan of the series here. We got the best of the best. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Battlefield 6. Huber and I played it at the event. Haley dove into the open beta. Jeffem and others. We're going to talk about Merge Maestro. Jeffem, what type of game is Merge Maestro?
I don't know anything about this game. What is this game?
It's a roguelike, baby.
That's right.
Oh,
yes.
of course.
Music to my ears.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't volunteer it this time.
That is true.
Hansen brought it up.
That's true. Well,
so
we have a journey to go on with that
doesn't
game.
count against my quota.
That's right. Is this seat taken? We're going to be talking about. And Haley, do you want to talk about, of course, the iconic game called Tales of the Shire: the Lord of the Rings TM game?
They got to stick the TM in there. They have to. Yeah. I'm done. I played 15 hours of that game, and let's save it for the back half of the show.
All right.
What a
There we
great
go.
tease.
And then we
A
have
little tease.
great questions submitted over there by the community for truly the back half of the show. But let's dive into this sucker. Mafia: The Old Country. We did an episode a while ago. We're picking which games we're most excited for if we had to pick 5 for the rest of the year. And this was one of the games that I claimed, that I quote unquote banged on with my 6-shooter.
I
guess
forgot
we had
you
6
banged
shots.
Mafia.
I was on the fence about it. Even Hubert, I remember talking to you at the Battlefield event about Mafia: The Old Country. I'm like, you know what? It was just like a simple, more linear than you think game. I think I'm gonna be in the mood for this. And all of us have played this thing to some extent. Haley, you have finished The Old Country?
Yeah, but then Michael beat me and beat it twice. So
Yeah, Hubert.
I can't win. I can't win.
Okay, Hubert, set up your Mafia love. It goes back to Mafia 1, or where are you at with this series? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the original at the EB Games. I still have the new release. I should have brought the box art or the box out. I have the new release sticker on the original.
Oh, that hits.
And it's because my brother saw it. And growing up, my dad was like obsessed with The Godfather and like Mafia movies and stuff. So then, before the days of social media and the internet, when you just like knew about every game, we were just in the store and my brother was like, yo, what's this? And like grabs the box off the shelf. Mafia. Like, oh, our dad loves Mafia. We like Mafia movies. Like, what is this? Let's get this. And then that was it.
And then you're locked in.
We got it. And then we never looked back. We're like, yo, this series rules.
Is it true that the best entry is Mafia 1 Definitive Edition? I've heard that.
That one's really good. A lot of people also really like 2. The remaster of 2 had a little problems with it. But just like the base original version of 2, people like a lot too. And just the original non-remake of 1 is so awesome. The vibes are so good.
So it's so funky because in my mind, I think a lot of other people's minds, like it's always been an open world series. And like, no, it's not open world at all. It just seems like it should be. And I don't know if that's like some weird.
That's just 3? Only 3 was open world, right?
Yes. And I think it gets unfairly judged for sure. Even if you go back and you look at reviews from the original 1 and 2, some of them will call out the empty open world. And it's supposed to be that way because the game doesn't want you to run off looking for hidden packages and stuff. It wants you as the player to kind of buy in to the missions and to the character and to RP as that character, and just kind of follow kind of what it's guiding you towards all the time. But there are times when you can just like randomly drive around and explore. And there's like side modes as well in number 1 and 2, like Free Ride Extreme, where you can go on little side missions and drive around, but they are linear games.
Okay.
Except 3. Again, 3 because of all those criticisms of people saying, oh, the open world's empty. I want to do more in it. They were like, okay, let's let's make it real open world this time. And it's actually like my least favorite one because of the open world. The tasks are just kind of repetitive. They lack the impact of, you know, those really finely constructed missions.
Right. So Mafia: The Old Country, you sit down, you play it. What is your journey that leads you to beating it twice?
We got the PC code first, played through that. And the port, you never know with a PC port. Is it my computer? Is it the game? I don't know. So my version was like, it's a little rough around the edges. And then we got the console code and I was like, I want to check it out. And then I just started playing and kept playing. And I was like, I think I'm just going to like go through this again. And I just like kept going.
Because it's good, breezy, simple gaming in a lot of ways, right? Like trying to think of the comparisons for the opening of this game, at least. It's like, there's something of like, it's a relative of The Order. It's a relative, even like a Plague Tale. You know, think of those games where it's like, they just keep you moving.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle vibes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like just walking through areas and crouching and shooting. That's what you do.
That's what you do.
Even like LA Noire vibes randomly, just like the slow pace of it all.
Right. But what is your overall take on Mafia: The Old Country then, the new entry?
Oh my God, I love it so much.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah. Without going into story stuff, because the story is just incredible. I love the way it's presented. I love the characters, the writing, the acting is top tier. The gameplay itself is kind of the weakest link of it, where it's like, okay, you're doing standard stealth infiltrations, you know, really basic stuff. You're doing cover shooter where enemies are kind of just spawning in the fringes and walking or running right at you. And, you know, that stuff is okay. But the longer the game goes on and the more ambitious the missions get, it still falls back to like slow infiltrations or like duck and cover shooting mechanics. So it kind of uses the same mechanics throughout and they kind of diminish as the game goes on. But more than the sum of its parts, overall, the entire game, I just loved so much because of the really good story and because of just like how short it was. It's like 10-ish hours.
Right.
Doesn't wear out its welcome too much. And yeah,
there's something
really good pace.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, you know, around 3 hours into the game. So very early phase. And I was streaming all of it if you want to check out the archives there. But like it was working for me more than I expected. And it's in that level of like, you know what? At this point, I just want to play a game that, is more linear than you think, but just like take me to a specific time and a place and tell me a little story. Like that is what I'm in for. And like running on PC, like it looked freaking fantastic just to have some, just the beautiful yellow light of Sicily coming through and you're walking through a kitchen slowly as a bunch of people are cooking food. All the fruit is like the best looking fruit I've ever seen in the game. I want to bite into it so much. Like I just want to like live in this world a little bit. I'm not even like a big mob guy, I swear. I'm not a big, Godfather guy. I like 1 and 2 just fine. But I've never had the dream of like, if I could just go back to Sicily in 1904, that'd be the dream. But just, it has a really great sense of place that I really am appreciating out of the gate. Yes, there's a bunch of instant fail nonsense with the stealth that, I understand is frustrating, but like early on, it is a cozy, warm blanket that I wasn't expected. Now, Haley, I'm watching you slowly grimace more and more as we speak.
Oh, no.
I know. I always hate when I'm really cool on something and other people are hot. So not to dampen anyone's love for it, but I'm quite cooler on it, I think. I do agree. The story is really solid. I like all the characters. I will remember these characters' names, which I think is one of the biggest tells of like, is a game good or not? Like story wise,
sure.
Like, I will remember Enzo. I thought he was really interesting. I liked him as a protagonist. I thought the intrinsical, like maybe this is the people pleaser in me, but like Don Teresi and like trying to get good boy points with him was a good motivator to like want to see through this game. Like you start out as like a guy who works in the mine, literally start with nothing. Yeah. And then, like an early mission, if people don't mind like an early spoilers, like you win a horse race. And Don Teresi's like, oh, I like you. Like, I'm going to keep an eye on you. And I'm like, Don Teresi likes me. Also, everyone's hot. That also helps with me, like that always helps. There's good intrinsical like motivators that maybe want to see through the end of the story, to the point that when I was 3/4 of the way through, I was like, how are they going to end this? I'm genuinely curious. I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really strong. Also, the location in general, it kind of had the same. I played Mafia 3. That's the only other Mafia I played. Had the same kind of like nothing really to do. This is an interesting one where it is a linear game, but then each level had an option to like explore within the level. Like you could go back to the chapter select and select explore and just go in the level and just do whatever you want, essentially. But the only things to do are collect these fox statues, newspaper clippings, pieces of paper, whatever. So unless you want to just be in the map longer, there's no value in like going back and doing that. So they could have just not offered it and had the linear, like you only can pick up the newspapers if you go through. They could have done that.
Some of that stuff did feel tacked on, Haley, for sure. Just like even the upgrades, kind of just the charms and everything. It's kind of like they kind of just run out of utility. It's kind of just like,
Yeah, and there's only so many times you can like go to the little shop to buy the new upgrades too. It only happens 2 to 3 times, and that's if you make an effort to stop out at the shop while you're going to the next mission, sort of thing. So, you know, and then in general, it's kind of like the first time you do something is the exact same as 10 hours later doing it for the last time. Like every knife fight was the exact same. All the stealth's the exact same. All the shooting lobbies are the exact same. But I will say the fact that the story is stronger saw me through to the fact that I finished it, because there's tons of games I play that have that sort of more mid gameplay that I just drop and go, I don't want to play this anymore.
Right.
But the characterizations were strong enough that saw me through. But it got to a point where it was like I could map out the level before I even go. They're like, this guy's over in the woods, go get him. I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn the corner. 2 guys are going to be talking about something nonsensical. They're each going to turn their backs, walk 10 feet and stare at a wall. I kill that one. Go to the next section. Have you heard that Enzo guy has been around? Oh yeah, I wonder where he is. Turn around, go stare at the wall, kill him. It got to a point where they have the boxes to hide them in Hitman style. I didn't even need to put them in the boxes because no one had loops that checked. Like there was the AI is quite stupid in this.
Yeah.
Like, there was times where I crouched and walked right up to them, facing them, and they were like, and I would just stab them in the throat and stab them in the stomach a few times. Like, oh, like it was kind of a no-brainer gameplay experience, to be honest. But
totally.
Yeah. That's kind of why I was a lot more cool on it, but I do agree the characters are great, and the world looks really good. It's funny how much it reminded me of Red Dead, which had me thinking about like spaghetti westerns, how like so many of them were filmed, you know, in those locations and stuff.
Italy,
So it's like, oh yeah, I guess that Italy and the West do have a similar vibe or whatever. And this is a super horse girl nitpick. All the horses in this game are female horses, but then the biographies call them boys sometimes. So game devs, maybe check on that and figure that out.
Talk about lazy devs.
Because I really like all the newspapers. They have like historical context and stuff. They like reference things. I was like looking up an old painting and stuff. It was actually really cool.
Yeah.
So I like that stuff.
It is.
But
a
the
cool
horses, they botched it.
They absolutely. I mean, horse girls online are roasting Mafia, the old country. They are canceling it. They're saying, do not spend your money on this game. It does not respect horse anatomy.
Yeah.
Just wanted to bring that up.
Jeffem, why are you so eerily silent? Even for Jeffem.
Yeah, I'm only a couple hours into it. I appreciate this conversation, and these were the vibes that I was getting from it to begin with, because I'm having a hard time getting into it, but the whole time I was kind of feeling like I think this is a fine game. I think it's more where I'm at right now, because like I'm still doing like menial chores in the game so far, and it's just like I've been thinking more and more about like time to fun ratio when I sit down to play a game at the end of the night, and I have very precious moments to play, and it's like it's been all tutorial, and it's been, you know, like not particularly interesting story yet, but I can tell it's like they're building out the beginning of this character, and like I'm glad that they focused on characters and kind of a smaller story and like a core group of people. Like that is probably the best version of this game that I could hope to play. But like once I started playing it and started playing through some of the combat and stuff, like I realized that I think my interest for a Mafia-esque game, not necessarily this series, but like playing it just made me want to go back and play more Empire of Sin.
I was thinking of that. Yep.
Like Brenda Romero's, you know, like I'm interested in the systems and like kind of building up like that empire yourself. I think that speaks more to my personal tastes. But I do like the setting. I do like the historical aspect of it. I do want to see more of the story, but it's been hard getting into like when I wasn't playing this, I've been playing roguelikes recently, and when I sit down to play roguelike and I press start, I'm instantly just having fun. And that's because there's no story and there's no characters, and they're not putting all of this, effort into like trying to build a place and the pacing of it and all those kind of things. But it's also like it's just pure gameplay, and I'm having fun. I like Huber, your description of it and like coming out and just saying like, the gameplay is the weakest part. Like that doesn't hurt it a ton, in my opinion, in terms of like, should I keep playing this? Because like that kind of confirms what I've felt so far from the gameplay. And it's good to know that the story and the characters and kind of the setting are worth continuing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give up yet. But
what's tough is there's a few little sections that give a glimpse of like, oh, now we're cooking gameplay wise. Like there's one scene where you go to collect money and you're still new to like being an underling, and they're like, point the gun at that guy.
Right.
Point it at him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, like that's integration of the gameplay with the like themes of the story. I love it. And then that just never happens again. It's like, if there had been more of that to connect me being the one who's like, oh God, I guess I'm going to shoot a guy, kind of escalation to violence, I guess.
Yeah. It needed that extra budget to have mechanics that are only in like one mission, like,
yeah.
Cause like so many of the later missions, especially the later missions, I was like, this is going to be amazing. And then like I was saying earlier, it just turns into like, all right, stealth down the hall, choke the people out. Oh, they see us. Time for a big cover-based shootout. And it's like, no, if you had done maybe like some disguises here, like let me put on a disguise or, deliver some boxes somewhere and like break in or, just a couple more unique things. Like you were saying, Haley, like pointing the gun at him was such an intense moment.
Yeah. If they just have the right the right framing for those little gameplay moments, even like, one of the early knife fights you get in the game out of many, we should point out.
There's so many.
It's like, but like,
and they'll have guns and they drop them and they're like knife fight. Like that must
the way
be
they
like
pull out the blade too is so dramatic. It's like West Side Story or something.
It made me laugh when you go to like, the shop and it's like, all right, here's like 48 different knives to choose from. Like, okay, this is the right world. This makes sense. Yeah, they're another knives. But no, like there's one where you're like breaking up the striking workers, which I thought was really interesting. I was like, I'm in a knife fight with like the guy who's like trying to speak truth to power. And I thought I was just that guy, but like immediately Enzo's on the other side of power. Be like, hang on, I have an in. Okay, now I will crush these people for trying to defend the common man. Like it's just fascinating to see that quick pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm learning a lot about the mob. Gosh darn it. No, genuinely, I don't think I really knew a lot about Sicily before this. If I'm being honest, I was like, I don't think I knew that it was its own language, and I feel very naive.
It's such a separate culture. Yeah, apparently you can't tell Italian from like Sicilian Italian. They're completely different.
Shout out to all of the friggin' curse words in this game. Figabuttari! It's so good. They say it like a million times. It's so every time I'm like, yo, 10 out of 10. It's
especially
so
the last fourth of it. They say that every line. They're like, whatever.
It's so good.
Yeah, I chose it playing Sicilian early on. I'm very glad I did. It feels like it's adding to that environment even more. But the English VO seems good for people playing in English.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Great performances.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet.
It's especially like Don Teresi. His voice is so
amazing,
gravelly, and like when he's pissed off, you're like, it's kind of like when my dad is mad. I'm like, oh, I better be quiet. Like kind of energy. Luca, is really good.
Oh, such good characters for sure. And I'm just really glad. I know the gameplay is like not up to snuff, and then even. There's always going to be those comparisons to like GTA and like open world, even though it's like pretty unfair. I'm just glad that they are back to their roots after like going from Mafia. When Mafia 3 came out, even though I love Lincoln and I love that game, I was like so nervous for the franchise. And then they were like, oh, we're going to remake 1. And I was like nervous about that. And it was awesome. And then now they did a prequel and it's also in the spirit of 1 and more linear and just like they've found the Mafia identity again, and I'm just really happy about that.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to figure out though. Is it like, hey, this is pretty good for a new Mafia game, or are you playing this game being like, this is what I've been screaming about for 20 years, everybody?
I think it's super good. I don't know if it's as good as the remake of 1.
Okay.
But maybe I like some of the characters in this more than 1, if that makes sense. Like 1 might be an overall better game, but I think the characters in this I'm more attached to.
And does it connect in a lot of ways to the other Mafia games? Like, this is obviously
there are really cool nods and Easter eggs that if you haven't played them, you won't even notice, and it's not a problem, whatever. But if you have, you're gonna, point at the screen and be like, oh.
So
somebody's really last name or something. You're like, that's
a lot of
grandpa.
last names. Yeah, a lot of last names. A lot of people, like a lot of newspaper clippings and stuff. Even before it came out, the town San Celeste or whatever is that one is in 2 a little bit. Like they announced that ahead of time. It was like, oh, this is the town that was featured in 2 for a little. So
oh wait, so you have gone to Sicily before in the series?
There's like a little bit there previously. I don't want to like go into too much, but yeah, there's like a little spot in one of the games.
Kind of like in San Andreas going to Liberty City for like one mission.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay, gotcha. Haley, you feel more down on it than you're letting on. I think you're being nice to Huber. In the Monday meeting, at least, you were billing this as like, I can't wait to torpedo this fucking game out of the sky.
Well, then the last fourth of story is the strongest. That's why I always like to finish story games before I shit on them, because that's stuff I can picture myself being the dev and hearing if I were like, I got halfway through meh game, and they're like, the best story beats are in the end, and we care like 70% about story, 30% about gameplay. So I always try to finish. Like, it ended on a better note than I thought it was going to. But yeah, I will say I wouldn't recommend playing this if you are more of a gameplay person in terms of these types of games. You won't have fun. Sure. The gameplay is truly like Xbox 360 stealth mission energy. There's no sauce on it. There's no unique element. You really just cover, shoot, sneak behind, stab. That's like all the gameplay you'll do.
Yeah. Because at least with the first game, you get a sick Tommy gun. So like you're cover-based shooting, but like you get a Tommy gun and you're like spraying around. Whereas the guns in this are fine. You get like your shotgun, which is okay, or your revolver and stuff. The Lupara shotgun is really fun, the sawed-off, but the Tommy gun in the first one does a lot of the heavy lifting for some of those repetitive shooting encounters.
Right.
Yeah. And I do think it helps that it's a shorter experience. It's funny, I was talking to my partner about this because he likes the Mafia games. He's like, should I play it? And I'm like, well, it's 12 hours. He goes, oh, I might play it then. It's funny how gamers are craving like a short little, I don't need this to be 30 plus, hell, even 20. Like, just give me a little 10-hour, 12-hour experience. I think people want that right now.
But it's so funny, too.
And it's only $50. Not $70.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. But it is funny just thinking about that idea of, like, shorter game, but also slow start. Like,
it's a very slow start.
3 hours of just kind of, like, slowly ramping up. But at the same time, I don't know what it is. I was really in the mood for that in that period. But you think about like time to fun, Jeff. I mean, it makes me think of like playing this game and Donkey Kong Bonanza back to back are so funny because both of them open in the mines, and one of them is like it's like 2 seconds
That's
to fun.
what they needed.
Yeah, and this one it's like, all right, you're opening in the mines, but you're just kind of slowly walking through the mines for an extended period of time,
like picking up a rock and moving it.
If Enzo could have punched through the mine and gotten a giant banana, that would have.
Ooh, a knife fight. Yeah,
Looks
just
so
anything
good.
would have been good. Yeah,
it's so fun.
It's so it's from Hangar 13, who is like a studio built up to do Mafia 3, and then they did the remake of 1.
Yep.
To kind of build it back up. But they have gone through the ringer over there. They're a California studio, and like they were after Mafia 3. Jason Schreier reported they were making like an open world music rhythm platformer game, which sounds awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And then that got scrapped, and like Hayden Blackman, who's leading the studio, he left. Fun industry interconnections is like Rod Ferguson, who was on the Gears of War franchise for a long time, and then he was at Blizzard for a long time. He finished up BioShock Infinite and stuff as a producer, but he technically started this studio before he left. And now he just recently left Blizzard. They just announced as well, so
Yeah.
he's moving on from there as well. But so Hangar 13, I've always rooted for them. I visited them on the Mafia 3 cover story trip for Game Informer, and I felt a little bit like when they were put on Top or it was a Top Spin, Top Spin 2K25.
Isn't that their only other game they've done besides Mafia?
Yeah, I think so, right? And it was kind of like, okay, are they just going to be like a sports studio within 2K at this point? And now it feels like, okay, they got another crack at like a new Mafia, and I'm glad that at least the Mafia fans are giving a tentative thumbs up to this overall experience. Like mission accomplished, I guess.
Absolutely. I love this franchise so much, and it's like, you know, a little rough around the edges here and there, but I love how committed it is to the story and the world. Like these are cars that handle like 1904 cars, you know, and just how, like you're saying about the beginning, like this is a game where the first 3 hours you're just like walking in the mines and like doing chores. Like, cool. That is a vision. That is respecting the bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, but I get that idea of being frustrated by the simplicity of it. Oh, other little detail I freaking love in this game though is the map. It's so small, but I love
beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like you think it's going to be a 3D map, but no, it's just like this beautiful looking 2D map. But it does this little thing of just when you scroll to the top of the map, it has like an Animal Crossing-esque like curve to the earth to make it look like it's 3D. It's just a small little touch, but I've never seen that type of map before.
That.
Gorgeous map, Haley. You'll never want to open it or have to open it because the game is so linear and simple. But if you do, you'll be wowed. I swear it. Jeff, did you play the other Mafia games? You like this stuff?
Yeah. I a little bit of 3. I played the first one. That was like one of the first first-ish PC games, you know, that probably didn't run super well on my PC back then.
Right.
But yeah, I remember a lot of driving in it. I kind of forgot that it wasn't open world until you started talking about it, Huber. The fact that they built everything out and the kind of promise of that and feeling like you were driving around an entire city, kind of that kind of LA noir. Like I can appreciate anytime a company, as much as I love open world games and would probably want it to be open world. Like I love when companies are willing to commit that much to be like, okay, we're just taking you from here to there, but like we're gonna build out the entire city anyway.
Yeah,
so cool. We want to immerse you.
Yeah.
And the first one too, you have like speed limits and stuff. You can get like pulled over by the cops.
Oh,
like,
right. Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I remember liking in 3 that they had that system where you could, when you took over a neighborhood, you hired one of your allies to like run it for you. They had some little tastes of like, a system, not just driving around in a circle.
Taking over the rackets.
Yeah. I love the UI in 3 as well. Like to navigate to your waypoint, they would just have road signs pop up, like fade into existence. And you'd be like, take a right here. But it all looked like it was within the world itself. It wasn't just like a line on the road.
They kind of do that in this too. They have like the black and white posts will point you to where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
Objective
so
based.
Cool.
I think I
really
did
well
like
done.
they did though was that they had like the skip ride option. Did you guys see that? Like it's like we're a game where the story and like them talking seems to be what they're leaning the most on. It's like, oh, you're kind of telling me you don't really trust yourselves, that you're like, do you want to skip all this story on the way there? I'm like, oh, I kind of don't. I can see why they did that for certain like people who play games a different way than me, but that kind of came off as like, ooh, you're not confident in this. That's kind of a bit shakier than I liked, I guess.
Yeah, I think
the map isn't that big to warrant like it would take like less than 2 minutes to get anywhere.
Right. It is weird to just think of like the state of crime-based games in this year. Like, you know, the simplicity of this has its appeal for certain folks. At the same time, it's like it's tough not to just think of Yakuza, you know, and be like, hey, if you want like a story about crime and getting woven into a web, it's like, all right, here's a huge, expansive game with 1,000 different little mini games. You could spend 100 hours in here if you really want to.
15 systems that layer and make the other systems better if you do one.
And then this is just like, hey, do you want a grilled cheese sandwich? You know, it's like the simplest thing that's an option for you, you know? But it's like, sometimes I like grilled cheese, man.
Also, though, the story is so serious in Mafia. There's no like weird comedy, really, like, at all. Like Yakuza gets really light sometimes, has some comedy here and there, some levity. Mafia's like, no. No.
Mafia, the old country. Haley, upon finishing it, any chance it's an upper crust bubbler in our Game of the Year discussions? Is that a possible territory for this? Or is it a, hey, you know what? Hey, not bad.
I think it's a hey, not bad. I don't know if it made it to upper crust bubbler. As much as I do like the story.
I get it. What if I dragged you to falling in love with Mafia, the old country, just like we're dragging and reviving all of our teammates in Battlefield 6 with the hot new mechanic?
Flawless transition. Did it again.
Yeah. Hubert, we played a little bit at the event. You revived me. I think it was basically a full-time job. Was you just coming around and reviving me again and again and again? So I appreciate that.
I love throwing my body on my teammates' corpses to revive them. It is my favorite thing. Yeah. It is ill-advised because it's always just bait. Every time I do it, I just get shot.
No, it's exactly that. It's the Raptors in Jurassic Park 3. It's a trap. Yeah, don't use it.
It's a trap every time.
Where are you at? I feel scared for how positive the Battlefield 6 community is feeling at this point. Because it's like,
right?
All signs I think are looking good, but like if this fumbles at the finish line, people are going to riot in the streets.
Can you help me with the context? It was Battlefield 2042 that was the big fumble, right? That everyone's now like almost wants to see them do it again in a weird vindictive kind of way.
There's been a lot of them that have been really rough at the launch. Servers going out with Battlefield 4, I think at launch was a disaster as well. And so it's like, it's one of those things. Also, it's EA, it's a big complicated game. I just feel like it's all going to come down to, can they stick the landing? But at least from the open beta and all this, it seems like the community is rah. Yes, this is the 3 and 4 follow-up we want.
Service maintenance workers for EA.
I know.
Like, if this doesn't go perfectly, we're going to lose millions for like one weekend.
Wow. Oh, they're losing hundreds of millions of dollars if this does not launch well. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it is a crazy, crazy situation. But Hubert, you're feeling good about Battlefield 6 at this point?
I'm feeling incredible.
Whoa.
I'm feeling incredibly good about it.
I like podcasting with you, Barry. You're so fun. Awesome.
I have, honestly, I don't think I've ever been this optimistic about a Battlefield game ever, even in the glory days before 3 came out. Showing the evolution of 3 and everything was wow, game changer. This is insane. But I think since then, coming after after Battlefield 4, I feel like the franchise has dipped a little bit in terms of quality and just community hype. 1 had a slow start, 5 had a slow start, which eventually got there. It took a long time, but Battlefield 5 eventually got there. It was just too late because people move on to other games. There are so many distractions now.
Yeah.
Where you're talking about losing hundreds of millions if the launch doesn't go right. That is such an important time to get people on board and committed to a game. So 5 launching kind of rough, and then 2042, obviously we know all about that, completely changed the identity of the franchise.
Yeah.
So just now, after everything they've learned from that and everything they've said about it too, they've had full acknowledgement, full transparency, hey, we're back to classes. We want the glory days of Battlefield 3 and 4. This really feels like a spiritual successor to those games.
Yeah.
So yeah, just everything that they've said and everything I've seen and everything I've played has all been top notch.
Yeah, that's so good to hear.
It's
so weird to think of the trajectory of this series, because the best selling Battlefield, I think, is Battlefield 1. Yeah. It sold 25.
After 4, yeah.
Yeah, which is odd for them to be like, okay, let's go back to 3 and 4, even though technically the World War I game was our best selling. But I mean, that's just so much enthusiasm, I think, for just going back to
Battlefield
this era.
1 a remake of the original game, or is it they kind of did
World War
Battlefield 1? Okay.
No,
which was so cool. It was finally a World War I game. People had been wanting that. Also, Hanson, it kind of reminds me of Resident Evil 6 being one of the most highest selling, just riding the hype of the other Resident Evils.
But that said, I like Battlefield 1 and that campaign, the little vignette mission things. I thought they were cool. That story of the pilot in World War I, that ruled. Cool. I love that little chapter. Yeah.
Those were cool.
They were little things, but they were cool little things in Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
That is my biggest I don't know, a conspiracy theory with Battlefield 6 is they say like, hey, we'll talk about the campaign later. We'll talk about the campaign. They released the story trailer, which, you know, had shots from it and all that fun stuff. But there's a part of me wondering, like, are they going to pull like a GTA and just want to like separate that campaign if they're not feeling great about it? Like, is there a world where this game launches multiplayer only and then they say, yeah, 4 months down the road, we'll update it with the campaign. It'll be coming. Like, it's not that they have to reveal everything they've got right now, but the game's launched on October 10th, you know, and maybe I'm reading too much into that one report of talking about the campaign kind of being in a rough spot.
Is campaign big for Battlefield heads? Like, is it like, oh yes, the campaign? Is it kind of just like, this is a nice thing that's also in there?
I don't really care for the Battlefield campaigns whatsoever. I have all except Bad Company 1 and 2. Bad Company, everyone. We love Bad Company campaign. Fantastic. But as someone who has played all of the Call of Duties in Battlefield, I have always preferred Battlefield overall as a whole to Call of Duty. I love Call of Duty, but I love Battlefield a lot more. But I will always say Call of Duty campaigns to me are vastly superior to Battlefield campaigns.
Yeah.
But the multiplayer, I love Battlefield multiplayer so much more.
I agree with you, Hubert. And part of the problem of that is it feels like I liked early Battlefield games and Bad Company 1 and 2, which like, please just do that again. But it feels like Battlefield, when Battlefield doesn't hit for me, it has always felt like they're trying too hard to be Call of Duty. And it felt like a lot of the later campaigns until Battlefield 1, which is when they did the kind of vignette thing, which also felt like a shrewd, like, hey, maybe campaign doesn't matter in the first place, kind of like let's you know, like downsize it and stuff. But when they have tried to do the really big, and they get amazing actors and stuff to be in some of those campaigns, and it's just like, it is hard to not just come to the conclusion of like, yeah, this is trying to be Call of Duty, but it's not up to Call of Duty because, you know, Call of Duty puts billions and billions of dollars into, and they've been doing it for so long, and they know exactly what they're doing, and you're just trying to do that. Instead of doing your own thing, which was Bad Company, and it was cool. And I actually cared about the Bad Company characters and story more than I ever did for Call of Duty campaign characters.
Yeah. But now, I mean, so many of those old DICE folks have left. Like, I'm sure they know how much love there is for Bad Company within EA at this point, but I don't know if there's going to be like that rah team that's still core to DICE to be like, let's go back to Bad Company 2, everybody. I think this is kind of
a Bad Company 3 would get people hyped, I feel like, but that's way down the line because obviously we don't even have 6 yet.
Yeah. Haley, as a Call of Duty junkie, I'm curious what it was like for you to jump into the beta here.
Yeah, if it's like Coke and Pepsi or COD and Battlefield, I'm more of a COD girly. Probably because my brother was, and I just only had access to COD growing up. And now you kind of just like have to. It's kind of like when your dad likes a sports team, and you kind of have to like.
Yeah, I wish
you're born into it.
Yeah. But I was, whenever I'm playing these games, especially in betas, I never try to count the first couple hours because like the first 2 hours I was playing this beta, I was like, I don't think I like it. But it's just because your guns aren't good yet. Like that's always the reason. You get dummied because everyone else has stuff on their guns and you don't have anything yet.
Right.
So as soon as I passed that threshold, my assault rifle actually had stuff on it, so the recoil wasn't insane. I was like, oh wait, this is really fun. I think the thing for me is I'm never much of an objective girly, and I say that playing so much Overwatch, which is ridiculous because that game is only objectives. But there's something about like realism shooter that I've never been attracted to the objective based modes. Like in COD, I really only play deathmatch just on a loop 24/7, and I think that's because I don't have anyone to queue up with. It's because I'm friendless. I don't like Battlefield because I'm friendless. That's why.
Let's squad up.
I know. I would love to squad up because I was doing like the support role, which I agree is super fun. And people would just, I'd be running up with my paddles, I'm like, let's freaking go, and then they just like leave because they're to just want to enter the lobby again across the map. I'm like, if you had waited 5 seconds, I could have missed you. So I think, like any good multiplayer game, it's exponentially better when you're playing with friends. And I think it's fun that this leans so heavily into squadding up. It's like 4-man squads within the giant 64 player map. That would be really fun if I had 3 friends to play it with, because I was just solo queuing. the thing that stood up to me the most, having probably played Battlefield, but I can't remember. I probably played 3 or something with my brother, but this one, I don't know if it's something they've been working on for a long time. The destruction is insanely impressive. The destruction of the buildings is just nuts. Like there was one instance where a guy was in an attic shooting out of it on one of the maps, and then one of my teammates shot the attic with a grenade launcher, and the whole floor of that building was gone in a very unique way where he couldn't sit up there anymore. Like, what? That's nuts. It was making me think of the finals when Leo talks about, destruction in the finals creating more unique gameplay.
Yeah.
I think the finals probably leans into that more to you can blast up the ceiling above you to have the objective thing you're trying to capture fall down. Like there's more stuff like that that's strategic, but visually, this has the best destruction I've seen in a video game, like ever. If you shoot a wall, there's 8 million different ways the wall could look crumbled depending on how you shot it. And every single building gets destroyed, and you'll do a loop and come back to a building you were using for cover, and now it's blown up. You're like, I can't even use this anymore.
Yeah.
It's insanely impressive how good that looks. And my computer was was chugging even in this vertical slice. So I'm nervous for when the whole thing comes out, if my computer will even be able to handle it. But
totally.
It's stunning looking.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like, it's doing well. The beta got 500,000 players. There's going to be another open beta this weekend if you want to jump in and try it yourself. I feel like your PC can handle it there. Yeah. You two should play together this weekend. I'm not going to line up a play date.
I think Leo wants to play too, because I was
really?
telling him about how he said he was watching my VOD because I streamed it last weekend, and I was talking a lot about the finals. It makes me think of the finals, interestingly enough, in a few ways. Like obviously COD too, but the defibrillator paddles. It's probably I'm sure Battlefield did that first, but that's in the finals. The destruction, the way you work around the map with the destruction in mind. Yeah, it was giving me finals vibes for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's the team. It's a lot of core old DICE members that went on to Embark to make that. But yeah, Battlefield 6. Curious, October 10th is the release date for that thing. All right, Hubert.
It has the ball running to the end zone right now.
You're right.
Everyone is just behind. Like, are they going to trip? Like you were saying, are they going to trip and ball over, or are they just going to run it right in? It's just a gimme.
Jeff,
it's right there.
Jeff, what's your bet? If you had to predict, will EA safely run into the end zone and spike this ball or not?
Servers are going to explode.
Okay. I mean, how many times can you do that before you realize, just all hands on deck? What do we need to do to make sure this is
and the betas help,
match?
right?
I would think so. Yeah, you'd think they're getting all the kinks
Or is
out.
it getting so many people hyped that way more people are going to buy it than they were anticipating in the first place?
The last thing EA would want. Yeah. Tricky. Hey, something you can buy here. There's a game called Merge Maestro, which is free to start if you want to play it that way, or you can drop $3 on mobile and just unlock everything, which is a real godsend. And then you've been playing Merge Maestro on Steam, Jeffem?
Also $3. The poor developer didn't realize you could charge 4 times more for the Steam version, which they should, because it's worth it. It would still be worth it if it was $10. Or $15.
So I was intrigued by this game. I heard other podcasts talking about it, and they're talking about it it's kind of like a match 3 with a little roguelike angle. And hell, I love match 3 games.
Sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome. And then I jumped into it and realized, oh wait, it's one of these roguelike deck builders. This is just some Jeffamass crap. I wanted some Bejeweled with a little hook,
This looks good. I'm buying this right now, Jeff.
You should. You definitely should. Yeah, it is some Jeffamass crap, as you so eloquently put it.
It's actually on sale for $2.40.
You can't say
They're giving it away.
They are. Yeah, it's great. I was happy when you brought it up, because it's one less that I have to bring up and force on everybody. But this one, yeah, it's amazing. If you like Balatro from last year, check this one out, because I think this is the best, most mind-blowing one of these puzzle roguelike games that I've played since Balatro, which I know it's only a year span, but those two I would put together, above decades. It's been decades since I've seen something as crazy as this. It is such a smart idea. So you have and I appreciate where you're coming from. When I'll also, to preface it before we get too far into it, don't let the emoji theming of it throw you off, because the first thing that I saw was emojis and merging gameplay, and I thought this is some mobile crap that I'm not going to care about.
Correct.
It is not that, which I guess was the appeal for you, Hanson.
I wanted some non-free to play mobile match 3 crap. I really did. Yeah.
But what it ends up being is way more interesting, and it's using emojis is probably good because they have like hundreds of different items that they needed graphics for, and so that works very well. But basically, like the core gameplay of it is you have a grid that you're putting out, little emojis, different items, which at the beginning are just numbered 1 through 8, and every time you merge 2 of the same numbers together, it goes up one level. So 2 ones make it into a 2 all the way up to 8. But what's crazy about it and super interesting is that you eventually, like, the 1 through 8 will just do one attack damage. You have enemies that come out at the top, and every time you merge something, you'll do 1 hit point worth of damage to them. But as you're playing, you are getting new items that you're slotting into those 8 slots. So like you'll get a knife that will do 5 attack, but that's a number 3. So now every time you merge 2 2s together, it turns into a knife and it does 5 damage instead. And so like all your 3s will just be knives from then on out.
Right.
But so you have basically 8 different levels that you are managing and slotting different things into, and then you're building insane combos off of it. I was playing again last night, and I had holes for my number 1, which when you put out a hole, it will destroy something adjacent to it. Which I paired up with, a skull as my number 2, and when skulls disappear, they'll do some damage, but then they'll also create another skull somewhere on your board. And then like my number, eventually like my number 5s were cameras, and every 4 turns or whatever, it will create another item that's adjacent to it, like for free. So like I would stack up my really high numbered items around it. But then eventually I got like you also get like relics essentially, which do overall things and completely change your board. And so I got a super villain one, which destroys 2 random ones, and then recreates them somewhere else on the board, which is great because I had a lot of pumpkins for my number 4, and your pumpkins, once you destroy 3 items or 4 items or something like that, they'll do a certain number of damage, which escalates, depending on the number of times you do it. So I was building this destruction-based build, and then I got these supervillains, which would destroy 2 random things. But they kept destroying my holes, Hanson. And when it would spawn a new hole, it would go someplace random. And if it was next to a really high value one, it would destroy that, which I definitely didn't want. So like I had to pivot, and it's just like, and then I eventually got the mind blown emoji as my number 6,
Ooh, very
guys.
Good, very good.
And the mind blown emoji does 1 damage for every item you destroyed during that run. So it was like 160 damage every time it was going off. And so I was like, well, I got to get them next to my cameras because my camera will automatically create a new one. And like, I played through, an entire run is only like an hour. It's like 15 waves or something of different enemies coming in. And like, I beat the final boss with like 1 heart left. And like I one-shotted him. Eventually, when I got one of those mind-blown emojis to go off, like I completely one-shotted him. But it was really tight, and I was losing all of my items. And like every run of this game that I've played has been something like that, but with completely different rules and completely different items.
Right.
And there's still like hundreds of them for me to unlock in like future runs. And all of this for $2.40 frickin' cents, Hubert. Like just jump in and play it. It's so good.
Yeah.
That explanation was worth $2.40.
Yeah.
At a minimum.
Yeah. It's like it so like it hits all of that like good Balatro, like the Jokers in Balatro, where it's like,
right.
Okay, this is what I'm building my hand out of. Except for this one, you have 8 of them, and then you are just merging stuff. And you can merge stuff from anywhere on the board, which is really cool. Like if you have a 1 way up in one corner and the one is, somewhere else, that's like, it doesn't matter. You can just grab it from anywhere and put them together. But there is a spatial puzzle that ends up, depending on which items that you get, like the holes, like you got to be careful where you're putting them next to and stuff. And it's just, I am so surprised. And then when I saw what the price was, it's like, you guys, you should be charging more for this. You should. I'm ripping you off by buying and talking about your game. Like, please bump up the price because you deserve it.
Is there an equivalent to like the Balatro catching on fire? Like, ooh, my brain feels so good right now.
Oh, I love
sort
that.
of thing.
It does, like, not aesthetically, but like, so like enemies come out at the top and that's what you're fighting. And in the beginning, it's, they're like 3 health or whatever. But when that mind blown one was going off and it was hitting them for like 150, like that is the center of my brain. That was
you touched the back of your head, which that's how where I feel
right
like
here.
the good stuff.
Merge
it's really
Maestro.
good.
That's so sweet. Yeah, it's sitting at overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. Also, it doesn't seem like it's flying off the charts. Like Northern Lion was streaming it and stuff, so maybe it's starting to pick up steam now. But yeah, it's a Stingless is the name of the developer of Merge Maestro. But yeah, between this and like And Roger last week, which I think was for like $4 or whatever.
$5.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this.
It's crazy.
Good cheap gaming right now, and we're not talking about some Roblox nonsense. These are some good games for ridiculously low prices. Everybody.
Jeff, have you played Drop Duchy? You heard about this one? Is that good? Good one compared to this?
It's good. I mean, nothing's going to live up to this now in my mind because I'm just totally in love with Merge Maestro right now.
Yeah,
but yes, it like Drop Duchy is a really cool, interesting kind of take on you look at it and it's like, okay, it's Tetris. Which is true, but like
it just reminded me of the cards and
for sure. Like each polygonal has different villages and things that you're building on, and you're like building up basically like attack power because some of the other pieces that come out are enemy ones, and so you have to figure out which place you're going to put the enemies so that they're not touching, and there's a lot of interesting strategy, and it's another one that's been on my list of like I have to yell at people to check this one out too.
Okay, sick.
It's real good. Yeah.
Okay,
love that.
And again, Jeff, I feel like this is what we need from you. Let's cement this in. Can every year you just have your running list? Like you probably haven't seen it, but Jeff Gerstmann, he's doing this whole series where he ranks every NES game. He's going through and playing it. It's really fun just to have like, okay, this slots in above this. I feel like I need that for you for deck builder roguelites because it's like
we can come up with a fun name for that too. There's got to be some spunky name we can come up with
because it's a lot of like this one's good, this one's good, this is good. But
I should just have a big master list.
Yeah,
love that.
That would help me too.
Yeah. Okay, get on it, please. But this year, Merge Maestro is your number one.
Oh man, I've played so many interesting ones.
Starvader's number 2. I just can't keep all this stuff.
Starvader's is pretty high.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a backlist of other games that I have to yell at people to play. And there might be some other ones here. It could be. Well, I mean,
MinnMax got me into Undermine.
Hey, do you know that Undermine 2 is it's out now in early access? Undermine 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it soon.
That's basically my Thursday stream for like the past 4 weeks or whatever. Have just been playing nutso roguelikes and me yelling at how great they all are while I'm doing it. And when we did our community meetup, Hanson, lots of people came up and accused me of making them spend too much money on roguelikes because they watched those and they've been playing them. So
that's funny. At the community meetup, everyone just kept coming up to me and they said, you gotta mute Jeffem's mic when he's talking about those roguelike games. He just talks about numbers into a microphone.
Well, different crowds. I suppose we're in different places, so people self-select which side they're going on.
Different sides of the room. You know how it goes.
What do you say was the number one roguelike this year?
Probably Merge Maestro at this point.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Whoa. Make that list, Jeff. Yeah. Hey, Haley, just for a complete flip of the vibes here. Tales of the Shire, the Lord of the Rings game. You have, is it like a Mafia Old Country situation? Mafia the Hobbit Country, where you're like, I just need to keep playing this to make sure I hate it? Or what?
This is how, okay, so now that I work with game dev so much, I really try, if I'm not liking it, to give the benefit of the doubt, to see it through. And if I still don't like it after that investment, I feel warned. Like, the other thing I always try to do is, like, if I should like this and I don't, I want to talk about it. If I, I'm never going to come up here and talk about how I don't like Elden Ring, because who cares? I'm just not an Elden Ring person. Who wants to hear me go, that's boring, it doesn't matter. My takes should matter. But, like, I really like the concept of a Hobbit, like, crafting cozy game. That sounds great, because I resonate with the hobbits. I regularly feel like I'm a hobbit born into an amazing race contestant family. Like, I just want to chill, and all my family, like, when we're on vacation, I'm like, let's sit on the beach and I will read. They're like, let's go on 15 excursions into the woods. And I'm like, guys, we're paying thousands to just relax. Why are we going to the woods? So anyways, that's to say, I was like, this sounds really promising. The trailers were kind of like, I don't know if I love this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to try it out. So I played it. Most of the time I played it was pre-launch, I will say. And then I played some after launch because I wanted to make sure that the bugs that I was experiencing were gone. But holy moly, were there so many bugs in pre-launch. Yeah, Whoa. It was ridiculous. And it got to a point, because I'm a sicko, where I was like bug testing to see what was triggering the bugs.
Oh no.
And I think I figured out a major one, where it was like the fishing guy. Whenever I went to give him the fish quest that I finished, he would freeze in the animation to hand me back things, and then I had to quit out and go back to my last save, so I couldn't pass in fish achievement stuff. But then I realized it was only missions where I had to catch more than one fish. So if it was 2 or more fish in the mission, it would bug. If it was 1 fish, even if there's 4 missions I was passing it, it worked. Like, this is what I was doing.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
I should have sent them an email and been like, this is why it's bugged, because I was like figuring them out. But it was like completely riddled with bugs. Things, not just like visually, but like quests would freeze, stuff would stop working, black screen all the time, wasn't, properly optimized, blah, 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 blah. So I had those complaints. Post-launch, it looks like they fixed a lot of them. I could pass in fish quests, and more than 2 fish. It got fixed. Okay. But very rocky start. And the other thing was just kind of, it had little glimmers of gameplay I really liked. Like, for example, it has this mechanic where if you click where you want to go on the map, the icon to get you to go there is little birds will land on the signs of the direction you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
And that's very sweet. So, like, if I'm supposed to turn right, I come up to a signpost with like 4 directions. The bird will land on the right direction, and I just go naturally that way. And it felt very integrated and cute. And I was like, that's really a nice vibe. I loved that. You skip around to get places, which is so like, that's the run. So when you press, they just like start jaunting and run around. Unfortunately, it just felt like after I did a couple missions, I saw everything. There's not, the thing I probably like the most is decorating my little hobbit hole.
Of course.
But I don't know. It just, there wasn't a lot of life in the hobbits that you interact with. Rosie Cotton's there, who fans of Lord of the Rings know that's Samwise Gamgee's big crush. She's there. So like they had connections to, Gandalf obviously shows up. Oh. Spoilers in the first 5 seconds. Okay. It's just like when you talk to a hobbit, unless they have a mission to give you, they never talk to you. Like, there's nothing they'll say. They just are just like, hello, and you're like, hi, and that's it. And
is Bilbo around?
Bilbo is not around. No.
Because this is a town called Bywater. It's not
Bywater.
It's not like Frodo's town.
Hobbiton or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll lore drop and you'll hear about stuff going on in Hobbiton. You're like, oh, I know that stuff about that more. And then when you talk to Rosie, she's like, I got a letter from a weird boy named Sam. And I'm like, I know that. Like, that's like about the closest it gets to Lord of the Rings. It's just, there's not a lot of substance. And then with how poorly it was running / issues I was coming into it, it was, the game became bug fixing, which is crazy. But
I played a bit last night, Haley, and then fell asleep while I was playing it. But the cooking seemed interesting.
The cooking's interesting. Yeah, it's like kind of like this 4-way metric Y, Z, X axis thing where it's like, I want it to be chewy and, tender or something. Like, you can like move scales on the different way that way. So you can chop it more and it'll move it a few increments to the right on the, less chewy meat. I can't remember what the verbs or the nouns were now. But that was the most unique part of it. But the rest of it was really, and then they had this, the other thing I thought was kind of interesting was with planting. There was plants that would benefit from being next to other plants. So you could strategically plant things around other ones in order to have the best quality crops or that kind of thing. But the game loop wasn't good enough. And then the story was just like talking to the hobbits kind of, all the hobbits were mean also, which is like a weird, like at least 60% of the hobbits were mean to me. I'm like, why wouldn't you?
It's annoying.
I have seen, even in just the early intros, there were some a-hole hobbits in there.
Yeah, they're all a-holes. There's like more a-hole hobbits than nice hobbits. What's that about?
And it was also weird that Gandalf shows up in the opening cutscene and there's no dialogue. Like they show you what they're saying, but they don't even make like rah, 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 rah. No, it's just like completely silent pantomiming while it's telling you what you're like the conversation that you're having at the bottom.
And there's only like
Lord of the Rings.
It
feels like they could have a budget to hire, Ian McKellen sound-alike to at least.
If they spend it all on Rings of Power.
Well, that's probably true.
There was a few other things that kind of stuck out too. Of like, I go to pass in a quest, and they clearly didn't spend the time to make it so that I could pass in the quest anywhere on the map. She would go, "Let's go back to my house to talk about this." 28-second loading screen, loading at the house. Thanks for giving me those pieces of wood. I'm like, why couldn't I have just told you that? And now I have to walk back to where I wanted to go. Like stuff like that was prevalent throughout the whole experience.
If you just like the vibe of living in the in Hobbitville,
obsessed with the Shire,
is the cooking and the fishing and the farming just kind of fun enough on its own?
The cooking was the standout in the way that it felt unique compared to cooking in other games. The fact that there was more of an activity around finishing a meal to a higher quality than just like stand in front of the oven and press A, which a lot of other cozy games tend to do. Cooking tends to be on the I don't care scale compared to other activities.
Yeah.
Fishing had its own little mechanic where essentially you have to keep the icon within a certain meter while you're pulling back and then let go a bit. Well, it's nothing that you haven't really seen before, just like looks a little bit slightly different. The growing was fine, I suppose. It's just, I really thought there was going to be more life in this little world, and there just kind of wasn't. It felt pretty bland, and everyone kind of truly felt just like an NPC and not a hobbit I was talking to, I guess, was my overall downer vibe on it.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that it's Weta that developed this? Like the VFX house?
It is. It is crazy.
Same people, company that made Avatar: The Way of Water the best looking film of all time. Now we're developing this Lord of the Rings.
And then they said, we can make a video game.
Yeah,
sure, that should be easy, right?
Just odd deal. Odd deal. Well, there you go. In lighter news, is this seat
you also
taken?
Cannot
yes?
not have feet on your hair on your feet, by the way.
Right. Well, that's a must.
You have to have at least a little bit of tuft of hair. I just know Sarah was pretty pissed about that, so I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, she should learn to embrace humanity. Well, humans have hair on their feet, and it's good.
No, hobbits do.
I mean, hobbits do, and it's bad. Hey, Haley, there's a game called Is This Seat Taken? That is so sweet. If you want cozy vibes from the Shire, this isn't like it, but it is a cozy, lovely presentational game here. Jeff, did you also play Is This Seat Taken?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really liking it.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, this is from Poti Poti Studios and Wholesome Games as the publisher. But basic idea is simple puzzle-ish game where it's one of those where it's like, okay, there's a bunch of different seats in a bunch of different scenarios, like in a limousine or a movie theater, and everybody has certain criteria for where they want to sit. And you need to put people in the right spot. Like the movie theater is fun because it's like, hey, I want to sit next to somebody who has popcorn so I can steal their popcorn, but I don't want to be sitting in a dirty seat, and I don't want some guy with a tall hat sitting in the seat in front of me, and I want to sit in row 3. So it's one of those kind of puzzle logic situations of trying to pop people in certain spots. Yeah. Is that, I mean, people who have played more than I have, that's the gist? Is just kind of a simple little puzzle experience based on that?
Yeah, I beat all the puzzles actually because they were tickling my brain so good. So it ends up being like 5.5 hours ish worth of puzzles is where I landed, which is a nice amount. Like that's great for me. That I don't need more than that. There's definitely, they were introducing new mechanics late game that I'm like, that's such a genius little idea. Like there's one where it's like a soccer pitch And some people want to stand in their chair, so you can click on the chairs to make it sitting or standing.
Oh,
but then you
of
can never
course.
have somebody standing in front of somebody who's sitting. So some people will be like, I want to stand and I want to be in row 2. And suddenly like, oh, well, I can't have anybody in 3 and 4 because he's going to be blocking them. So there was
Right.
a bunch of little ideas like that. It's funny. This actually is when you're doing the LSAT, these are called logic games, and you have to learn how to do these for the LSAT. And they were my least favorite thing because it's so fun when it's like this and you have a tactile little guy to move around and test out things.
Yep.
But when you're doing the LSAT, you sit down and they're like, there's 10 paintings in a museum, Vermeer, a Van Gogh, a blah, blah, blah. And they're like, the Van Gogh must be in the West Hall. The Vermeer cannot be near a painting that's blah, blah, blah. And
Like
you don't have
those graph ones that it's like you put
It's
half of
just-
them on this side and then the other half on the top. And
Yeah, and then like put the order of the paintings, and they'll give you like 15 rules, and you're supposed to sit there and do that in under 2.5 minutes. And you're just like, there's like math equations you learn essentially to be able to do it really quickly, and it sucks ass. It's the worst thing ever. I hate logic games, and they took logic games out of the LSAT, by
Right.
the way, because they're so ass. And it really just came down to once you knew the formula for calculating it, it's not about having good logical reasoning. It's just do you know the formula for doing it. So they got rid of it because it wasn't even showing anything. It just showed you could learn a formula. Yay. It was good when they got rid of those. But this is like what I wish I could have been doing during the LSAT questions where the little guys are on a little iPad for me to move and test. And they say, I don't like it here. That guy's stinky. I go, okay, I'll put you over here then. If that guy has cologne on, I don't like that. You just like move them around and test it out.
Does anybody want to be in a movie theater just fully away from everyone?
Yeah, some people go, I want to sit
do.
alone.
Yep.
And you
That's-
can't have anyone near.
Excellent.
And you're the nice, stinky, tall guy as well, Huber. So you really fit a lot of this criteria. Yeah.
I'm always off to the wayside, away from everyone.
The amount of times there was one stinky guy I just couldn't slot anywhere because every single seat someone would go, ew, stinky. It would tell you that they don't like it. I'm like, can't you just go home and wash and come back and I can put you somewhere? But some of them were genuinely quite hard. It would take me at least 10, 15 minutes to finish near the end, like a single puzzle. Because there was clearly only 1 or 2 solutions, but there was 20 seats to play around with. So you had to really work around and do stuff like that. Great ones in the end where it was like another soccer game one where 3 guys had a sign that had to be lined up together because it was like one of those like go team signs that spells out something.
Yeah.
But then their sign blocks everything behind them and they wanted to be near the front to see the game. So it was like, that one was hard because I was like, they're blocking 3/4 of the freaking seats. How do I figure this out? So you had to choose people who wanted to stand, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And I think it was a good length of time too. It wasn't like, oh my God, 100 more puzzles. I'm kind of done with it. It was like ended when I was done with playing around with it.
Yeah, I've been impressed when I first started. I really loved the concept of it, and then I was like, but are they going to be able to keep it interesting?
Yeah,
or is
that's
it
what
just
I'm
going to get
wondering.
harder?
Yeah.
and like you said, Haley, like every new like situation that you're in creates some new interesting scenario. Where like even the bus, it's like you do a couple car, like you put people in cars and that's fine, and then when the bus comes, you start putting them in the bus. And then it will go to another stop and a bunch of them will get off, but some are still on there. And then you get new ones. And so then it's like, okay, well now I have to rearrange everything because like the way that I set it up the first time doesn't work anymore for the new people. And then like you go to the restaurant and it's like, well now some people want food and they want to share different foods. And like I've been surprised that every new little puzzle has a different mechanism to it.
Yeah.
That has kept them interesting and kind of changes how you formulate where people should go.
Yeah,
That's
and
really cool.
I'm playing on PC. It's on Steam and Switch and mobile. Yeah, it's $9. It's on sale at the moment. It's another cheap game for everybody here. But like, just the presentation is so nice and clean. It's so cute. Like as I'm hovering with the
snipper clips.
mouse. Yeah, yep. I can see snipper clips vibes. Yeah. But just like moving the mouse over the screen, like all the characters just follow the cursor with their eyes. I don't know if that comes through in like the tablet version or whatever. But yeah, it's sweet. But it's called "Is This Seat Taken?" It's falling in the category of cute little thing.
Cute little thing that was way better than I thought it was going to be.
There we go.
A lot more ingenuity to the puzzle mechanics.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Is this seat taken? Hey, Haley, you know where the seats aren't all taken?
Yeah.
Patreon, Haley.
That's what I was going to say. You interrupted me.
I'd say we've got like 10,000 open seats. If you want to come down and sit down, no one's stinky And we've all got
sneaky.
popcorn for you to eat as long as you buy it yourself. Come on in, everybody. You can jump in and support us at any tier. Find the tier that's right for you. You jump in at, I don't know, let's say the $5 tier. You unlock that bonus podcast feed where you get Bonus Pod each and every week. The show that Haley hosts, the Patreon exclusive show. She is knocking it out of the park. What was happening on Bonus Pod this week, Haley?
Stop.
It's true. It's true.
This week it was Jacob and I taking community call questions, but then we spend an ungodly amount of time just quoting the new Naked Gun movie.
Yep.
And we're like, this is probably a horrible podcast to listen to, but we're having fun.
Yeah.
Let's just keep quoting.
Jeff, have you seen the new Naked Gun yet?
It's so
I
funny.
didn't even know that was a thing.
What? You live under a
laughed
goddamn
every
rock?
30 seconds minimum. I laughed out loud. It was great.
This
so
came
good.
out
Just
in
came
our
out like 2 weeks ago.
2025.
Where have you been? Yeah, go on a little date night with your lovely wife and go see Naked Gun and laugh your butt off. There's no universe where you'll not be immediately won over.
With
It's such a
Liam
good-
Neeson?
Yes!
And Pamela
Oh
Anderson.
my god.
And they're fantastic together. The chemistry's
How
off the
I-
charts.
They're a hot couple in real life.
Now they're dating in real life, and that's so cute.
Come on, man.
Oh my god.
I love that.
So anyways, Bonus Pod. Unlock it each and every week at the $5
yeah.
tier on Patreon, everybody. Place to be. We have a Max Spoilers episode for Death Stranding 2 coming up. That's going to be available in that bonus podcast feed if you want
Recording it
an
on
easy,
Friday.
convenient version of a lot of MinnMax's content. You can more than double the amount of content. And we don't really plug this too much, but it's you also get this podcast completely ad-free and 1 day early in that bonus podcast feed as well. If you want to unlock that, we'd appreciate it. Otherwise, thank you to some of our biggest supporters, people like I Am 8-Bit. They've been around for a long time. They've been great partners of ours. They have a wonderful online store with so many wonderful things in there. They have great versions, physical versions of games, including, what is this? They have physical versions of a game called Tales of the Shire, the Lord of the Rings TM game on Nintendo Switch and PS5.
They have to do the TM thing. Don't squanch them on that.
No squanch here. So you can check that out. It has a sweet map of Bywater if you want the physical version of that, but they have so many other things available in their wonderful online store. We're talking Muppets vinyls, physical versions of the Untitled Goose Game, Persona vinyls, Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe physical edition on Nintendo Switch. It is truly a fantastic store. So go to IM8bit, support them, keep them around. You can use the promo code Digital Nomad. Digital Nomad, no space, for 10% off of everything under $100 in that wonderful online store. And you should help support IM8bit because they ship out a prize each and every week to the MinnMax community. Whoever has the best questions submitted on Patreon, they win the prize. And this week, of course, they win Untitled Goose Game, the physical edition
Oh, hell
on
yeah.
PlayStation.
Sick.
Yeah. So it'll just arrive in your
game don't
mailbox. Yeah, that's right. So all thanks to IM8bit. Hey, Huber, you know a game that you say is a 10 out of 10 that I'm increasingly feeling terrible about not having played?
Uh-oh.
Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Oh my god.
Oh, that game's so good.
I need to play
I love
that.
that
I don't know
game.
what I'm thinking. I was just watching like a Wavelength video over there, and they were also just raving about it. I'm like, what am I doing? Well, how have I never played this game?
It's
It's not
short
long either.
and sweet,
No, yeah.
and nice and good. I love it. I love it so
Short,
much.
sweet, nice, and good. I'm looking for a little bit more in my gaming experience, though. Does it have a really slow start like Mafia the Old Country? That's what I'm
No,
talking
you dive
about.
right in.
Not
You are
interested.
It's so
in it.
so fast you'll die in the first 10 seconds.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Chase Rupert writes in. They say, "Hey, bin Baxers, that's us. What is your current hyperfixation? It's been a while since I've had one, but with the release of the Final Fantasy Magic: The Gathering set, I've been diving headfirst into it. Only slightly less expensive than Pokemon currently. Hey, Haley, you can't say no to Magic. It's cheaper than Pokemon.
Is it cheaper than Legos?
Oh God." Everything in the world is cheaper than Lego. Rent is cheaper than
You're right.
Legos. I don't know how it's possible. You know what? Hey, speaking of prices, Hubert, I got a bone to pick.
Yeah.
What did you see that like Mario Day celebration announcement stuff where they released like, hey, we're releasing a new mobile app where you can stretch Mario's face, like the opening of Mario 64 and stuff. And they announced like cute little Mario wooden blocks.
Oh, geez.
And I was like, freaking sweet little wooden blocks. I can get that for my kid. This is going to be so fun. He loves Mario. But the blocks are also amiibos, and it's like $130.
Oh,
Wooden blocks with a plumber's face on it.
That is
just
insane.
whittle them. Just whittle them, dude, at this point.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
Etsy's probably got some like really good versions of them or something.
Yeah,
True.
that's true. But shout out to somebody at the community meetup, by the way, who gave me, sorry, I forgot their name, but they're like, hey, on an episode of the podcast a while ago, maybe on the Deepest Dive, you said that you were a Gao man from Final Fantasy VI. So I wanted to give you this Magic the Gathering Gao card from the Final Fantasy crossover. It's like, you know what? I'm not a Magic guy, but I love having one card, and it's just Gao from Final Fantasy VI.
Who is Gao?
Who is Gao? Oh, Haley, I thought you were a
Gao.
friend of Gao. You got to go learn all about Gao.
Sounds made up.
He's a blue mage. He can absorb enemies' abilities. He's the best.
Well, that's broken.
Yeah, you might be right. But what do y'all think for question of the week? No, what is your current current hyperfixation?
I'm really back into Dead by Daylight in a crazy way.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
I'm playing it like nonstop. I watch YouTube of it nonstop. I get a load of this later on is Dead by Daylight related. Spoiler. And it's because I finally got good at the nurse, who's the best killer in Dead by Daylight. She's really high skill ceiling, and I've always been like, she's too hard. But then there's this little add-on you can add to the nurse where it shows you where she essentially can blink through walls and pallets and windows. She's broken if you're good at her. Like you'll go, like the survivor will teabag, and I can just teleport to beside them and smack them in the face. And I'm like, every other killer, I'm like, oh, I can't get them. They're behind a wall. But with the nurse, I'm like, you want to teabag me? You're dead. It's like she's so satisfying. And there's an add-on that lets you see where you're going to teleport, which my thing was always like, I can't get a feel for her. I don't know where her teleport's going to land. And even though people call it like a crux thing to have, I just keep that on nonstop. I keep it on all the time. And suddenly she's like really easy and I love her. And people can't teabag me at the gate anymore because they're already dead. Nice. And it's just so fun. I play it nonstop.
What's your hour count for Dead by Daylight at this point?
Steam says I have like 300 something, but then I had a PlayStation 5 account that I played for like 1,000 hours at least. And there's no cross progression. How annoying is that? So I had to restart an account from fresh on Steam, but like it plays so much better on Steam.
Jesus.
So I got all the killers again.
Have we ever put that into Show Plus? Well, surely we have. It just hasn't
Yeah,
run?
we did
So fun.
We did it during Halloween. We played with like Alex Van Aken and Marcus. Yeah.
Okay, good memory.
I don't even think that was a new Show Plus. I think we just played that because I made them play it with me.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get S ranks in Ninja Gaiden Rage Man stages.
Okay. Ooh, yeah. That's a good focus.
That game is freaking good.
Yeah.
My goodness.
That's exactly your cup of tea. Just like give me good, simple, hard action.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Are you... Because you're also a Shinobi lad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to
Pumped.
guess or predict, which do you think is going to come out higher in your personal list? Shinobi
You
or...
really care about this.
I think Shinobi. I think Shinobi. But let's not pit them against each other because they're
friends.
both incredible and both should be played. I was disappointed in our Easy Allies chat the other night because we were talking about both. I was like, oh, has anyone played Ninja Gaiden? And they're like, no, I'm waiting for Shinobi. And it's like, play both. Both are so good and they're so different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities, but they both deserve to be played by everyone. They're top tier games this year.
You got to celebrate that if you want those types of games to stick around for sure.
Yeah.
Jeffem, what do you got?
Roguelikes.
Roguelikes.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right.
Seriously, Jeffem, I played Undermine for
drowning
the
in
first time, and it totally took over my entire life. Undermine 1. I legit only played it for like 25 hours just over a couple days. It was insane. I was all in.
Really good.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Yeah, we want to talk about
Do
this.
you think you'll play Uma Musume? It is a roguelike.
Which one?
I feel like I have
game.
to. I feel like I have to at this point.
Yes, please.
You guys keep bringing it up. My wife's brothers are really into it. They keep telling me I should play it.
I don't trust them.
So I don't know.
It's not Gooner bait. I swear. It's a good strategy.
It's good.
Game.
You like it.
Yeah.
Mr. Bump writes in and says, Kia ora, MinnMax. That's us. Hope you all are well. Big fan of the show. As someone who lives in New Zealand, our country has sometimes embarrassingly held on to our connections to Middle Earth and the Lord of the Ring trilogy. One such example is our local airline pre-flight safety announcement with a little tiny Elijah Wood telling you to be safe.
I love that.
I
feel so much safer if I had that on my plate.
Yeah, you can see it if you go on YouTube. Just look up Lord of the Rings safety flight thing. It is very cute, and they made it when they were making The Hobbit. It's the best thing to come out of the Hobbit trilogy. But it's like
Hobbit 2 is sick.
hey, Desolation of Smaug.
It's a good one.
When he desolates, I'm like, go, go, Smog, go.
When he desolates.
But it's this weird thing in the instructional video. It's like it has this nice message at the end where it's like Elijah Wood and he's standing in the Shire. I assume he's in character as Frodo. And he's like, I hope you all enjoy this life. Have a wonderful time. And then he gives a big smile. Then he puts the fucking ring on and disappears. And then Peter Jackson comes out and he's like, I hope you like our little video. But it's like, don't end with something that's like, it's like seeing, someone like shoot up with heroin. Like, we don't want him to do that, right?
The Nazgul are going to come.
Right. Yeah. It's like, that's not the happy ending.
Fly him somewhere, hopefully.
Yeah.
Kind of matches.
But anyways, so Mr. Rum says that being said,
shooting up heroin is killing me. Sorry.
It is, right? Like,
it is.
It's not a good, fun thing. No. Anyways, that being said, which gaming IP would make the best fit for a pre-flight safety announcement video?
I thought Tails from Sonic is just a no-brainer. He flies a plane, and also he has that perky, like, flight attendant, let's get in the sky kind of attitude.
Right, but I feel like every time he's in the Tornado 2, isn't it crashing? Like, I don't know if that's good.
Well, he's not flying my plane. He's just telling me how it's going to go.
Okay.
I still trust him, even though he's a bad pilot, which is why he'd be good at it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Metal Gear Solid, like a codec call.
Oh, okay.
Giving you a codec call about, like, check under your seat for a life jacket.
Right. Don't perform a halo jump out the back of this plane at any point.
And like giving really detailed stats about like the plane and all that.
Look, I love Metal Gear. That does sound like the most boring version of it. It's just static codec call as they run through a bunch of stats of the plane and the wind shear.
But you have like old file footage of like the Wright brothers and like the origins of planes. Like you go deep into it.
And they play like Best Is Yet to Come underneath the entire thing. It's like the music from the end of the first one. Yeah, I can see it. I was thinking like Mass Effect would be a good one, right? You got like Joker could come out like as if he's your pilot and all this stuff. Talking about Edie. Like there's a lot of good sci-fi-ish type things that could run through there.
I'm sure all the grandmas would be like, "Oh, that's Joker! Great! Now I want to put my seatbelt on." I was gonna say the guy who did To a T.
Oh yes,
those games.
Takahashi.
Doing a song for putting on your seatbelt or whatever.
Oh, totally.
The giraffe has to turn his head, crank his head down to get in there.
It's really good.
Yeah,
that's the answer, I think.
Yeah,
that's wholesome.
It's better than just like a Zelda one, like Navi, just like telling you. Because like I feel like Zelda's filled with characters who are like yelling at you to do things. Ezlo from Minish Cap and stuff. Yeah, you don't want.
I want to shoot Fee in the kneecaps.
Whoa!
So much. There is a 10% chance that your health is at 1 heart.
But
thanks, Fee.
It does have like the same feeling though. Like in Skyward Sword when they're like stopping your gameplay to be like, congratulations, you found 5 rupees and explaining it for the 700th time. That's what it kind of feels like when they're like, by the way, if this plane crashes, put your head between your knees, whatever they tell you to do in the instructional videos.
See, you don't know, so therefore they need to do it every time. You don't even know.
If it was a cute song with a giraffe, you'd probably sing it.
When the plane is on fire, put your head in your knees. There can totally be a little song there.
Pleasure yourself when the plane is going down.
Have one last moment of ecstasy, and then the plane will crash.
Welcome to hell. Hauling Gas writes and they say, happy weekly podcast day. That's us. What's the best stay you've had at a hotel / Airbnb / resort on a trip? That's a little broad question.
There's a lot of things we could do. For my partner's birthday, he's a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and we barely travel. Like, we've gone on 2 trips, one of which we just did for Leo's wedding, like 3 weeks ago. So we don't travel very often. So when we do travel, I'm like, I'm gonna splurge. He's gonna be the trip princess. So I got him tickets to go to a Maple Leafs game. And then we stayed at a really nice hotel called the Saint Germain that was 5 feet from the arena, which was the best thing ever because we watched the game. We had so much fun. We had so many beers, and then we just had to walk like 2 feet back to our room. It was awesome. Where everyone, you came out, there was like thousands of people trying to get an Uber, and it looked so stressful. And we just had to turn to the right and go, there's our room, and go up and relax. And then the room was so nice. You could tell that it's like the nice place that people. I'm very much like I'll just get a 3-star hotel. I don't care. But it's like one of the few times it's like I'm going 5-star. Let's see what it's like. It was so fun.
Sick.
Oh, that sounds great. I think for me, it was we went to Hawaii. Now, people from Hawaii, let me know where I'm right and where I'm wrong. But we were surprised, like, oh, I guess Airbnb isn't allowed in Hawaii because people just like squat on that. It doesn't help for the real estate, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, interesting.
But somehow we still found one and booked one. And it was like
illegal. Did you stay with a random person? Not on Airbnb?
It was like a trailer in somebody's backyard, if that counts. But it was like an awesome little trailer. And then it just had like an outdoor shower as well. But the beautiful thing is like on the north side of the island. And then we basically just had like an entire beach to ourselves up there. And it was just absolutely fantastic. And it was so cool to be in Hawaii, seeing the beautiful trees all around you, and an outdoor shower. Like I'd never experienced nothing like that. And to stay there like multiple days, it was just
It was worth it for the hidden cameras.
I was just going to think.
Absolutely.
Airbnb makes me nervous about hidden cameras. That's the person that's giving you that room.
I guess that's true.
My answer was also Hawaii. when we went to Maui, we also got an Airbnb, which I guess is illegal or whatnot. Like we've never had a bad Airbnb experience, although now Haley's making me wonder about all the hidden cameras. But we haven't shown up on the internet naked or anything, so I think it's fine. But we were. It seemed like it was kind of like a little townhouse apartment place that we just had a little room in. There was a beach across the street that we could walk to, but it had a parking spot. And then we just drove around Maui everywhere, and they had like snorkeling equipment, which we didn't even think about. So we could just take to the beach, and then we swam with a big turtle, and it was awesome.
That sounds perfect.
Love turtles.
Wow.
Love turtles.
Nice. I went on like a trip to Washington, D.C. in like the 90s with my family. I was really young. Yeah. But we got 2 rooms because my grandma came along. So my parents stayed in one, and then me, my brother, and my grandma stayed in one. And it was just like a normal Marriott or Hyatt or whatever the hell. The room was fine. But my brother and I would turn the air conditioning on like max cool.
Oh, yeah, why not?
So it was so cold. So we put it on max cool like before we went out that night, and then we came back, and it's just one of those like memories that you have that you'll never forget. My grandma walked in.
Because grandma was frozen?
Dude, she walked in and she was like, "It's freezing." It was like, total grandma move. So funny. And like my brother and I just every time like my grandma or my parents would like go to turn it up, my brother and I would just like turn it right back down. We're like, "Yo, back school."
Blasted.
It was freezing.
She wasn't lying. Joshua Shelvok writes in and says, "All right, crew, time to have a talk." Is everyone sitting down? Mm-hmm. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a towering achievement in gaming, and it's in danger of being criminally overlooked by this outlet. Here's a game with eye-popping visuals, deep and satisfying mechanics, engaging characters, one of the best stories in recent memory. I fear this amazing game is going to lose a spot in the 2025 210s, probably to Welcome Tour, simply because the cohorts don't want to make the time commitment.
I'm playing it. I like this to say that I'm playing it. Leave me alone. I love it.
I played a bunch of it. I just fell off on it because I have to play so many games, Yeah. That is a tough part of like being in the industry is like, I really want to play this game and only this game. And it's like 50 hours, but I need to talk about game A, B, and C coming out in a couple weeks. So I got to jump on those. So it's like when I jump from a really massive game like Kingdom Come, those are always the hardest to get back into. It's so hard.
Yeah. Haley, would you define this as a towering achievement in gaming?
It's one of the most unique games I've ever played, and I play a ton of open world games. This one feels like no other open world game I've ever played. I played all of 1 before it, and now I'm like probably halfway through 2 story, but it's my Sunday game. Like I play for like 2 hours every Sunday ish. So that's kind of how I've been playing it. It's such a good game to like get a buzz on and play because you're just like, I'm a medieval guy and I stink. You just run around and do missions. The level of systems in this game is fascinating. Everything matters. The side missions are so unique. Like I did this whole one where It's very, I also love the medieval period. I wrote my thesis on that and stuff like that. So I like am all in on that era and like learning about it. And like one of the side missions, just for an example, was like, I was in this big castle and they're like, there's demons coming in through the fireplace, cleanse all the fireplaces with holy water. And then like, while you do that, something else happens, right? But it's like, just even in learning that that's a real thing they thought, that demons crawl out of fireplaces. So you have to go and put little drops of holy water so they can't come through and all that kind of stuff. And the fighting is also really unique. Like, it was a lot harder in 1 and they improved it a lot in 2, I thought. Like, there's a big jump forward and like, okay, that was too hard in 1 and people didn't mess with it as much as we wanted them to. Let's simplify it, but it still feels innovative and
super
spunky.
Realistic and grounded. Yeah.
It's like when you block something, you're like, huh, it feels like you did it, not just like you spammed X or something. It's very intentional, and you have to look at their arms and like a real knight would to be like, I think he's gonna go to the right. Oh, he's going to the left, and like turn very quickly to try to block it, kind of thing. The horses are good in it. It's super fun.
The director of that is the creator of Mafia.
Oh, really?
Oh, interesting.
I didn't know that.
Oh, huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Funky.
All comes around.
But it is one of those like super strong games that I don't think is anyone else in the cohort's roster's taste, which isn't like, they don't need to play it if it's not, it's just, it still is super strong though.
Yeah. Jeff and Leo have dabbled. And so.
Yeah. And they both bounced off of it. Yeah.
They're bouncers. Yeah.
But I think that question, don't be concerned because like not everyone's playing it or it's hyped. It's like still kind of a niche game, you know? It's even though it is a big AAA game, maybe on the smaller side of AAA, you know, it's a huge big sequel and a huge big game.
Yeah.
I think it did really well critically, commercially. Like it's not gonna you know, necessarily be as big as like, you know, a Call of Duty, or like not every game needs to be that big to still be really successful. Yeah. So I think Kingdom Come 2 was still really successful.
And like, yeah, it seems like it's selling so well, the developers can go on to do whatever the heck they want to do for the next game, you know, which is nice. But I get where Josh was coming from, that feeling of just like, why aren't gaming podcasts talking about this more? Because like, I think like No Clip was into it. I'm trying to remember, like, it does feel like there hasn't been like a outlet that I know of that was like all in on, oh my God, this is the best. Oh, maybe. Why am I forgetting the name of Skill Up? I think was really into it. You know, there's odds and ends, I think.
Okay.
But Joshua says, lovely meeting most of you last weekend at the meetup, by the way. Crossing fingers, we get Haley for the next one.
Come to Canada.
We'll try. Rhina Gogo says, howdy, MinnMax. No burning question here. I don't want to sound rude, but I was shocked at the pictures from the Minneapolis meetup from last weekend. There were a lot of people there, way more than I thought. It looked like hundreds of people. I counted for the photo that we took, and it was around 100 people. But that was like one slice of the day, you know, and they're like rotating through. Yeah. So it was around that. Jeff, does that math seem about right?
It was a walk up and look in the window and say, holy crap, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was amazing. Obviously, I should have said this at the top of the show, but thanks everybody who came out, who, you know, brought loved ones, brought friends, came by themselves. I hope everybody had a good time. Seems like everybody was enjoying themselves. It was really nice. Like Seth from Pretty Good Printing, he made like name tags for everybody and had like their name tags. And then the genius detail was he put like your name and then list your favorite game. And so it was just like
That's
baked in icebreaker, you know, where everyone could just walk around and be like, oh, okay, Riven, huh? Oh, Symphony of the Night, huh? Like it was a really nice entry point for everybody. So yeah, thanks to Utapils for hosting and everybody who came out, and we had a blast there. But they say, now I'm even more excited for the eventual Asheville trip in my neck of the woods, says Rhina Gogo. And then they say also, hi, Huber.
Hello.
There we go. So we have not locked down plans for sure. We still want to go to Asheville to make good on that entire poll. And, you know, we ended up derailing things with the hurricane there. Was that last year? But next spring might be the right time. We'll find the right time. We need to talk about it as a group. But yeah, I still really want to go to Asheville for sure. So hold on, people in the Southeast. We'll get there eventually. Jared Quick says, hey, this question was spurred by the fancy name tags you all were wearing from the community meetup. Oh, that's funny. I wasn't even trying to connect that. Were your parents ever going to call you a different name? And could you picture yourself with that name now? My parents were going to call me, we're going were going to be a Hamish, apparently. I couldn't even imagine myself as a Hamish now. How about you all? Is that how you pronounce that name?
Hamish?
Hamish? That
probably,
sounds way better. Thank you. Yeah, Jared, I don't know what you look like or feel like as a person, but you're definitely no Hamish. There's no doubt.
I picture like groundskeeper Willie when I hear the name Hamish.
Yeah, it's tough.
I would have been Aubrey if I had been a girl.
Aubrey.
You'd be a
That's
great
pretty.
Aubrey. Yeah, that's mine. It's like I don't think there's another boy option, but I was going to be a Caitlin. And then I dated a Caitlin.
With a
and I
Y
thought
or
about
an
it.
I?
An I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't know what that means, but
You can you feel the difference.
I can tell.
But it's not where you think.
I was going to be Brock.
Oh, you would have been so hyped as a Pokemon fan?
I know, I would have been pretty hyped. That was before Pokemon the anime came out, so I'd have been like, I was Brock first. I don't know. I would have had to be like a football player if I was a Brock, though. Like, come on.
How popular is the name Brock, do you think?
I feel like not very popular.
The Dodgers have a pitcher called Brock Stewart.
Oh,
Are they good?
Brock McLean would have been me.
You would have to kick my ass, I feel like. If
I
your
would
name was,
need to kick everybody's ass if my name was Brock McLean.
Yeah, Brock's number 919 for boy names.
It's pretty low. I feel like that's still relatively in the zeitgeist, though, if it's on the list.
We'll talk about zeitgeist.
1,000, yeah.
Naming a girl Brock, it's number 17,000 on the list of popularity. So there we go. Wide open, folks.
Chad is saying Brock would be fitting for male Haley.
Yeah.
I give potential Brock energy.
You do
What does
feel
that
like
mean?
a Brock. I get
Interesting.
it for sure. Yeah.
Like I beat people up.
Yeah, you're always like, you're horny for nurses and cops.
Yeah, that's a stretch. Clone troopers, because they have the helmet.
No, I was
Not
going
just
for
cops in general.
I was going for Pokemon Brock.
Oh, I like the Nazi clone troopers.
All right, stop saying
modern
that.
cops.
Stop saying that. Jeff,
Nazis is such a worse answer. I don't know how that's your defense. Well, I don't like police. Just the Nazi.
yeah.
Clone troopers specifically because of the helmet.
Jeff, have you felt that with your kids? That idea of like, you probably had some other. Have you felt Nazi vibes from your kids? No, you felt that like. That feeling of like, oh, you probably had some runner-up names for each of your kids, and now it's like some of those names, it's like, oh, that could have worked. And other ones, you're like, what were we thinking? That would have been a disaster if we would have named this kid that.
I guess, yeah. We had some runner-ups, and it's hard to imagine either. I think it's just like you get used to the name that you picked, not that, you know. If we had gone with the other names, I'm sure we'd be looking back and been like, oh, that would have been
Yucky.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brock. Jeffem's two kids are named Brock, which I think is weird to double down on it.
Brock and Brock Jr.
Brock 1 and Brock 2.
Got bad vibes.
Not Weirder writes in to say, hey, MinnMax.
I actually knew a Brock in elementary school.
Cool guy?
Hey.
Yeah, he was cool.
Hell yeah.
Is he tough?
People did say broccoli though.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing. I remember that was a little bit of a thing. But he was older than us, and he always was like looking after us and stuff. He was cool.
Yeah.
Cool kid.
If you're trying to name a kid, I do recommend looking on Reddit. It's really helpful to be like, hey, Reddit baby names or something, because there's a lot of like, you wouldn't think of this nickname, but I actually have this name, and I was, mercilessly ridiculed in elementary school.
The Bort Simpsons bit now.
My son is also named Bort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, it's the no, never mind. I'm thinking about the bit where he's like listing out all the names and Homer's coming up with like a rhyme for every single one.
Right.
And how to get bullied, and
Yep.
they get to Bart, and he's like, nothing comes to mind.
See,
Let's
that's
go
what
with
it
Bart. Yeah.
Not Weirder writes and says, hey, MinnMax, if you suddenly gain the ability to do a backflip, but you can only use it once in your life,
Oh my god.
when you're using it.
I mean, probably my wedding, because that's the most time people will be looking at me.
I was thinking that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless, yeah. But then when in the wedding is the tough part. Because if it's like first dance, you don't want to be doing
Right before the
backflips while your
kiss.
partner is just standing there.
No, yeah, it's right after the kiss.
Right after the kiss.
And
yeah.
you say, yippee.
The no strings attached. A backflip anytime.
Only once, but yeah, anytime.
Okay, one free backflip when I'm like 90 years old.
Oh, like the Six
I'm
Flags
gonna
guy.
bust out a backflip and freak everyone out.
Right.
freak them out.
That's good. Yeah, I was thinking wedding too, Haley, but I was thinking maybe channeling Leo's wedding recently, where it was like truly my deepest fear on planet Earth occurred.
What?
Where I had to watch a lovely wedding between two lovely people that I care about, and it just made me squirm. No, it was like the freaking dance circles. Like I like dancing at weddings, but like those dance circles where it's like, hey, that's great, that's all good. But then, and I won't point fingers, but somebody at Leo's wedding started going like, Ben Hansen, for me to like get in the dance circle.
Yeah, me and Sarah watching on the side during that, we went, oh no, he's going to hate this.
I wanted to crawl out of my skin.
Yeah.
And that's the situation where it's like, if I had that backflip chambered and I could have just done one backflip and the room would have lost it, and then I just slink back into the crowd, that's what you need.
Or backflip straight out the window.
Right. It would have helped, yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Here is my move, Huber. Because I'm like, well, I can't dance, and there's nothing I can do in this situation that would be at all interesting. But we had just had a bunch of like pizzas ordered and delivered, and there was a big stack of pizza boxes on a table that wasn't too far away. So I was like, I can only do like group engagement activities. So I was like, okay, here's the bit. You guys, pass me all pizzas. We'll see how many pizza boxes I can stack up. So as I was dancing, they just kept stacking more and more pizza boxes. And then that was my bit in the dance circle, was trying to balance like 40 pizza boxes.
That sounds so fun.
It was fun. And it was a nice cop out of just like, well, I'm technically doing something. And the song's over. And I pretended to deliver the pizza as the end. Haley, the pizza bit at the wedding, if you had to review it on Game Informer's review scale, what would you give it?
I think because I know you well enough to know inside you were like, no! That I personally loved it more. Someone who didn't know you was like, he's a spunky guy. Like, it probably came across as totally genuine, but I know in your heart you were squirming to run away. So
okay, good.
An 8.
Wow, that's huge.
Because I was having fun watching it.
All right, I'll take it.
It was good. It was a good time.
Luke Freer writes in and says, hey, MinnMax, my local high school is putting on an original school production called Split. And no, it's not the James McAvoy movie, sadly. It's loosely inspired by the game Split Fiction. And I cannot wait to see it and report back. I want to see that so desperately. That sounds so fun. I want to know everything about this. Is it like the students are really into Split Fiction?
Yeah.
Or is it like
who spearheaded
There must be a
that?
teacher. There must be a teacher.
Yeah. I want to know everything. Anyways, just say, I cannot wait to see it. Report back. Yeah. If you're in charge of a high school production, which video game would you want to adapt? I mean, It Takes Two, of course, to have some divorced high schoolers.
That would be like all the parents that are divorced coming to see it would be like, what the hell?
What the hell?
Is this about us?
Are you talking about us?
Play about us?
EVE Online.
I was thinking Red Dead 2 because Western is pretty easy to do. My answer is always going to be Red Dead 2 for everything. I love it so much.
Great answer.
But it's like, I feel like it's easy to get props. The underlying story of that is kind of easy. Like you'd have the classic Micah who's like, I'm Micah and I'm pretty bad. And then that would be like one character. The Arthur Morgan is the main character. Dutch. It's like they all translate to a high school's performance level needed to communicate their general vibe in the story.
Yeah.
I think it could work.
But you need a game that would work well for like a single setting like that, you know? Like it's you have some backdrops of like some cardboard trees in Red Dead, but it's going to look like crap. But
yeah,
that's why Jeffem wants to direct a high school production of 12 minutes. Jeffem, it's in poor taste.
Come on.
That's messed up, Jeff.
At least it would be short.
Okay, Jeffem. Fossil Arcade writes in and they say, MinnMax has got a blind spot, and it's not Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's Blippo Plus. The alien TV station from outer space is the best thing ever on the Playdate. I'm certain it'll be MinnMax's best thing or best work of art when it comes to Switch or Steam next month. There's no question in my mind or this comment. Thank you, Fossil Arcade. I have like, you know, every week on the podcast, I have like the games like, oh, I want to get to this. I want to talk about this. And Blippo on the Playdate has been copied and pasted week to week as I push it forward. Like at some point I'm going to get to Blippo because it does look absurd. And I like little fake TV channels. I like the opening of Metal Gear Solid 4. And the idea of like one of those on the Playdate, I want to check it out. And I want to do it on the Playdate too. I know it's cool they're bringing it other places, but like, it's going to feel like the cheaper version, having it in color. I want like the full Playdate experience on that thing, you know?
I have wanted a Playdate for so long, but it is way too damn expensive. I'm sorry.
Yep. Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
there's got to be a used market for playdates out there that's a little bit better
I
for
feel like
you,
there
right?
would be. Like, who buys it and then goes, time to resell?
I guess you're right. Yeah, it's kind of the point is to hang on to it as a little curio,
Yeah.
but it is fun. I do like it. Jason Wojnar writes in, they say, hey, what's the wildest thing you've ever done on a dare?
When I was a counselor at horse camp, me and the other counselors, it was like the in-between where kids weren't there. There was always like 2 days where we were waiting for the new session of kids to come in, and we got to just like do whatever we wanted. And it was the middle of the night, and we would always let the horses out on the field, and they would just graze in the grass and hang out. But we all dared each other to go out and get on each a horse and ride around in the middle of the night in the herd and like canter around. And we did it. It was sick, but it was probably like so easily news in the morning could be teenager dead because she fell on a rock out in the field riding a horse. But it was so fun. There's only 4 of us, and we just hopped on one, and then like we rode like the head mare and the head gelding, who like were the bosses of the herd. So when you ride them, all the other horses like want to follow because they're the bosses. So we were like strategically doing that. So we'd ride them in circles, and all the herd was like, I guess we're moving. So then like 40 horses were just like running around with us. We were living our spirit style in the Cimarron fantasy. It was awesome.
Well, mare, what was the other word you used?
Head gelding. That's a gelded stallion, like a neutered stallion.
Gelded. A gelded cage? Is that a thing?
No.
Fred DeNovo says, howdy, I have been I have been a MinnMax patron for its entire existence. Thank you, Fred DeNovo. One of our mods, who we flew out to the community meetup, by the way. Thanks to Neil and Fred for making it out. They say, I've heard all about your gray ducks and your whipping shitties as Minnesota things. That's right.
What are those?
What are gray ducks and whipping shitties? The 2 greatest things from Minnesota. But they say that they must ask, how has wild rice not come up during MinnMax's entire existence? I traveled up north after the MinnMax community meetup, and I keep seeing signs selling wild rice by the pound, and I'm finding it on menus everywhere, including in burgers. Is it just so normal that you've never thought to bring up our obsession with wild rice?
Is this just
Do
like
other places
rice
not have wild rice?
I am also confused by this.
I think I know what it's like. Rice that is not like, I don't know what the word would be, like purified, right? Like there's flecks of like black in there and different color. Like it's kind of just like rough rice.
We call it rough rice. Yeah. Huber, do you, as an LA man, do you have wild rice?
I don't know. I haven't heard this wild rice. No.
Yeah, it's a Native American thing. But yeah, like wild rice, like sausages and stuff, wild rice brats, like fantastic. So I guess it is a big part of it. But I'm curious, everyone weigh in. Are you down with wild rice? Huh. Well, there you go. I guess that makes sense. If you're in northern Minnesota, you're not from there. It's like, yeah, there's probably wild rice everywhere. Yeah, we are pretty into it. Green Mountain State says, hey, MinnMax, where do you prefer your freezer location on a fridge? Up top, at the bottom, on the side?
I love this question.
Yeah, up top. Up top's the classic. But it feels like new agey to have like the left or right or the bottom. So is it just we liked our childhood and we liked reaching for popsicles up there? Or is it actually the best place for it?
I think this could turn into an hour-long conversation in my mind, because I don't know what I like the best.
Oh no.
I didn't pick this either because I can't tell. But I think like traditionally you put it on top so that the cold air you can then pipe down to the fridge.
Pipe down.
And yeah, like the thing in the back that goes down into the bottom
of
your fridge.
Okay.
Really?
Because
like
cold air goes down.
I thought, I know.
Science? Anybody?
But you wouldn't want that air coming down because then you couldn't regulate the temperature of the fridge.
Well, I'm sure there's dials and stuff.
You turn the dial and it opens or closes depending on how much you want. I think
that's dumb, and I think Jeff was dumb. I think the reason it's at the top is because the Goody ice cream treats are up there and they don't want a bunch of little kids being able to grab it.
The freezer on the side always gave me like rich person's vibe. Every time I went to a friend's big house, they had the side freezer.
Right.
And then it was like, it's never wide enough. Like if you have a really big box of something weird, you'd have to like open it and then put it in the side one, because it was always just like a skinny apartment building in New York City type A. Like there's no room for a bed in there kind of energy.
Right.
But I think my fridge right now is top, and I do like that. But I open my fridge door way more than my freezer. So wouldn't I want it to be the bottom so that I don't have to bend over to look at my fridge? That's my thought.
Yeah. Unclear. Unclear.
No, tell me what's the right answer. I need
Oh,
to know.
it's just have it up top.
Okay.
Up top.
Yeah.
Up top.
Up top.
That's Mildly Raven writes in and says, "Hey, congratulations, you're rebooting Star Wars. What's one thing you'd change?"
I would finally make a rated R Star Wars movie.
Nice.
Finally.
Let's go. Finally. Yeah, let's freaking do this. It's time.
I'm on board with that.
Everybody loved Andor the most, and it was like almost rated R.
I mean, there's very adult stuff
In
there.
spirit, Andor is rated R.
What do you? I mean, you're already getting like arms sliced off. And
No, it's not even about gore or anything. It's about tone, and with that tone comes stakes. Like, you know,
I like that.
make a death matter. Like, yeah, just gritty underworld criminal high stake stuff.
Imagine if you saw a lightsaber would cut into the arm and it wouldn't just fall off. It'd be like,
It'd be awesome.
Like blood
Well,
everywhere.
it would cauterize it.
It would
though.
cauterize.
It automatically cauterizes.
So it'd be
wouldn't
really
bleed
cool.
anyway.
So you're saying you need a Star Wars movie where a death matters, unlike the death of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Hubert, are you saying these deaths don't matter in
He's
Star Wars?
literally in everyone
are you
after that
saying
is a
Obi-Wan
ghost being
dies?
like, hi.
Obi-Wan
Yeah,
dies?
you just turn into cool ghosts. That
Just turn
hanging
into
around.
hollow ghosts who
Sit
are
on
completely
logs
fine.
sometimes.
Yeah, but when these ghosts to be bloody and stuff as they come back and they're like, help us! It
I would
hurts.
also bring
Beetlejuice
pod racing
ghosts,
back.
yeah.
Please bring pod racing back. I'm just begging someone to do it.
R racing
So
pod racing.
R-rated and pod racing.
Yep. R-rated pod racing movie.
Yeah, so Bulba's like, I got some dirtier words than poodoo I'm going to call you, buddy. This is going to be some raunchy terminology. Look out.
But imagine seeing like Wang in Star Wars. That would change the vibe up completely.
Like every Wookiee's just hanging dong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. Like Chewbacca, maybe.
Like 28 years later style.
Chewie.
Right. Yeah, we're talking alpha dong. It would be better. You're right.
It would change the entire. It would change the tone. I agree with Hubert. It's like I could see a dong at any second. This entire franchise feels different now.
Yeah.
No matter what you say, it could have the same plot, but I'm like, what's gonna happen?
I was thinking, here's what you do.
So just remake the original trilogy, but with tons more dongs in it.
Yeah.
Like
You never know when they're gonna show up.
One dong view a movie and you don't know when it's gonna show up.
Right. It's just like, it could be like a background actor walking by and just they have their wang hanging out of their fly. Like just to that
Random,
level.
like, random droid dong. You're like, whoa.
Right.
They
Right.
fall in the trap. Oh, Jabba the Hutt's dong would 100% be out.
Oh yeah. I feel like it
Come
already
on.
is out. It's just like squished down. Like if you had like
It's just
Yeah, we don't know.
if Jabba the Hutt was like
We don't
on a
know what
glass
he's doing with
table,
that.
every man's fantasy, and you're like looking down from the, you can see his dong already like pressed
Ew.
against it. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
so pressed against the glass. Yuck.
Shane C writes in, they say, you know how TV networks, they censor movies when they broadcast them over cable? Do any of you have a funny or memorable example that sticks out with you? I remember watching The Matrix on cable many years ago, and when Neo says, Jesus Christ, that thing is real, when they pull the bug out of him, the network dubbed him over to say, Jeepers Creepers, that thing is real.
Oh, that's so good.
It remains one of the funniest and most unnecessary things I've ever heard. Also, Ben, I think you should scrap the bleeps and adopt this method of censorship moving forward. That does sound pretty good. And then people,
Record each of us having an alternative to a swear, and you have to put it in every time.
it'd be so jarring. But then this was posted on Patreon, in that post we do every week for questions, which we'd like you to join, by the way, listener and viewer. But then people started replying to it, and Waving World said Hollywood Homicide, starring Harrison Ford, and who he says is an actor he was convinced was Ashton Kutcher. It's Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett. Yeah,
Minnesota's
that's a good
own
movie.
Josh Hartnett. But anyways, they say they dubbed an enthusiastic take of the word baloney over BS during a scene where Harrison is being interrogated. I remember it being very jarring. And then Shane C says, the other one I think of is towards the end of The Rock, when Tony Todd sells, I want my fucking money.
Money.
Instead of just bleeping it or muting it, the network edited an awkward gap, so he just says, I want money.
He's gonna keep mine.
No. Give me money.
Where's my money? Give me money.
That's excellent.
The correct answer is The Big Lebowski, because none of them wanted to do it. And so they said, just go in and do the stupidest voiceover lines that you could, which they say the F word every other line
right.
in that movie. And so the big one was when John, what's his name? John Goodman is beating on the car,
right?
And he's yelling, "This is what happens when you F a stranger in the A." They changed it to, "This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps." And he just kept repeatedly yelling that, and they're all golden like that. It makes no sense.
Everybody,
but it kind of syncs up. So.
I love it. This is the future of MinnMax Patreon comments. Is everyone please just submit your favorite one of these? I could read these all day. It's so good.
None of these come to mind. I can't think of an example.
There was one in like one of the diehards where instead of like "F you," he's just like very funny. And it's like what? It's just what? It's just like
that's lame.
And
bizarre.
For the,
it changes the entire scene.
I think it was Die Hard 2 when he says yippee-ki-yay. Apparently, I think the bad guy's name in that was, his last name was Falcon. So he says yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
That's the one, dude.
Yes.
That is the one I'm trying to remember. There's so many good ones in Die Hard.
Yeah.
What do y'all like for a question of the week?
There's some good ones.
There's some good ones. Of course, there's Star Wars.
The Star Wars ones.
What are your parents going to call you? The gaming IP for the safety announcement.
That was a good one, too.
That's a really clever one.
Yeah.
Really good.
I like that one, too. Huber, I feel like it's your call as our guest of honor.
So much pressure.
Here's the question. Here's the way of framing it. Which question made the show better?
Yeah.
By the biggest.
I mean, they're all great. They all make the show better.
Ben having the visual of glass pressed Jabba's dong from below is never gonna be out of my brain.
That is insane. I mean, I guess we got to go with that one.
All right, that's mildly
I guess
raving.
we gotta do
Congratulations, we're shipping you out a life-size sculpt of Jabba's dong, otherwise known as I'm 8-Bits, giving you Untitled
What
Goose
was that
Game.
thing? 13 inches of Jabba's dong.
All right, now it's time for something we like to call Get a Load of This. Hey, get a load of this. I think it was at the Airbnb when folks were around. Somehow we started talking about meteors and asteroids and stuff, and I was trying to ask, and it's one of those things that took way too long to explain, so I don't know if I want to. But I was asking, could a meteor go by, like hit Earth, but it just, if the Earth is here and the meteor just grazes the top of it, do you know what I mean? So it could like even take out buildings, but if it's coming from the right angle, it doesn't need to collide with Earth. It could like still
slingshot gravity past it.
Yeah, not even full slingshot go around it, but like just be impacted by it. But if it's coming from the right angle, you think it could just graze it. So Jacob Geller sent me the Wikipedia article for what's called Earth grazing fireballs. And as of 2008, only 4 grazers have been scientifically observed. One of them was there's a bunch in 1860 apparently. Not scientifically.
Can't trust those.
Yeah,
they probably thought that was God coming down to punch them or something.
Somebody did make a painting though, which is pretty sweet, and it is of God coming down to punch them. But it's cool. I love
pressing his tongue against the glass from heaven.
But then also 1972 in the U.S., the Great Daylight Fireball, it's called. That's what that was. Of just like, all right, it's just coming from just the right angle, so it's like, zzz, and then just keeps on going. So, anyways,
convenient.
Wikipedia.
It was always when we didn't have any tall buildings.
Right? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Come
if
on.
So, like a skyscraper, it like the Empire State Building could be taken out by a meteor that's just moving horizontal with the ground, right? Like that's such a cool idea.
These grazing fireballs, they're not grazing the ground. They're just like going through the atmosphere.
Correct.
And that's what's making them.
But they could. What if they just like singed the tops of trees? Like they could come through at an angle where, wouldn't that be sweet?
I feel like
that would be
the
very
odds
close.
of a meteor hitting is whatever 1 in a billion, and then the odd of it being the exact correct angle to not land because of gravity but slingshot away is probably another 1 in a billion.
You're too focused on the slingshot. Maybe it's impacted by the gravity a little bit.
That's how gravity works.
No.
It's like that's the reason we go in a circle.
I understand that, but I don't think
sun.
all of these are naturally caught in the orbit of Earth, you know? Like they're still escaping it. They're going so fast that they're not going to get caught in that orbit.
No, but if it's grazing, I'm sure it's getting affected.
If it's close enough to graze a tree.
It's being impacted. I'm sure it's like going from this to that, but I don't think it's like every one of these is becoming a new moon is my point, you know?
I picture it like, so here's the Earth and here comes the grazer and it goes around it and gravity moves it kind of close and then it goes that way.
Okay, sure.
That's kind of what I picture. Not like it starts circling like a moon.
Hang on,
and it's just grazing everything.
I'm crunching the numbers. Yeah, that checks out, Haley. I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. Anybody else got one?
Sorry for ruining that by trying to be really specific about gravity.
With science.
Love science. I'm a big baseball fan. The Dodgers hit into a triple play yesterday. Ohtani hit into a triple play. Very rare. There's been a handful since like the beginning of baseball, but more than a handful. I mean, there's like a couple a year, I'd say, but it's still extremely rare.
Nice.
Is that bases loaded home run?
No, it's bad. It was against the Dodgers. So a triple play means there's no outs, and he hit it to the second baseman, Neto. Neto catches it for an out, steps on second base for the second out, and then throws to first to get the third out because everyone was like running because they thought it was going to be a hit, but they couldn't get back in time.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Triple plays are really cool. Like it's so rare. It's so fun. It's cool. Even though it was against us, it's like, oh, awesome.
What's it called when the bases are loaded and you get a home run? Like the big
Grand
Slam. Yeah, oh my God. I was like Denny's. I literally just
Grand Slam, yeah.
Denny's.
God, somebody, and sorry I don't have the name, but somebody wrote in a couple of weeks ago, and I thought that was such a good community question, but nobody else liked it, so I'm blaming them. And the question was, what is the video game industry equivalent of a Grand Slam? Where like a studio releases like 3 pretty good games, and then Grand Slam, amazing game. And it's like, it's a fun one to think about.
I feel like it takes 2 guys, like Hazelight is like getting there.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But you need like
Rockstar.
3 like solid 7s.
Is right, it's Rockstar. It's Rockstar.
It's Rockstar.
GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas.
Yeah.
Bully.
Yeah, but are you counting like Space
Bully.
Station, Silicon Valley and stuff and the build up for that? Like,
Yeah, or like table tennis.
yeah, okay.
Whatever.
I mean, yeah, if you just go like GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, and then 4 is kind of like a Grand Slam. It was so epic.
Do you think 4 is better than all those previous games?
Loaded question. It's tough. They're so different.
Bases are loaded
The
indeed.
gotcha journalism at the very end. Man.
I was literally thinking about this yesterday, Hanson.
What?
Of like my favorite ones, I think are probably Vice City and San Andreas, even though like technologically they were the smallest like leaps forward. But I think I just like the time periods, like when they do a time period specifically.
Yeah.
So
You're obsessed with London,
I don't have an
1969, all your favorite GTA games. Did you ever play that, Huber?
GTA London?
Yeah.
It was like top down, right?
Yeah.
As a kid for like a minute.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're derailed. Anybody else got to get a load of this?
get a load of this. I thought this article was fiction when I first saw it, like Orson Welles' kind of War of the Worlds, type thing. But it's an article from Futurism entitled "People Are Becoming Obsessed with ChatGPT and Spiraling into Severe Delusions." And then it just gives a bunch of examples, which were real. But like once I started clicking through links to find this stuff, that's when I became horrified. But one of their first examples is a mother of two told us how she watched in alarm as her former husband developed an all-consuming relationship with the OpenAI chatbot, calling it Mama, and posting delirious rants about being a messiah in a new AI religion while dressing in shamanic-looking robes and showing off freshly inked tattoos of AI-generated spiritual symbols.
Okay, if that's a crime in this day and age, I don't want to be right.
I know.
Ben
but yeah,
raises his arms full of those tattoos.
It's a long article on all these people who like apparently when you have a chatbot that just tells you what you want to hear because it's not actually thinking for itself and it's just kind of guessing what you want to hear, that's not good for people.
Interesting.
Freaks me out.
Write it down. Write down a reminder, everybody.
That's scary because it essentially feels like they're validating their thoughts with searching something online when it's really just generating randomness back to them.
Yep. Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous, Skynet, everybody. There's
Skynet.
Oh, Huber, scale of 1 to 10, how much are you looking forward to that Terminator 2 weird 2D
11 out of 10.
Okay.
11 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
it looks so good.
It does look very good.
What's Terminator? What's happening with Terminator 2 now? How am I behind on all this?
Wake
I
up!
haven't heard any of this.
Terminator
Naked
2
Gun?
No Fate video game. Terminator 2 No Fate. It's like 16-bit looking side scroll.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I did hear about
It's
that.
even better than that. It's called Terminator 2D No Fate.
Terminator 2D No Fate.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Nice.
By the way, Backstage
High
Pass
hopes.
chat has saved our butt on that Grand Slam question. Not Weirder says the answer is Team Asobi, making 3 smaller projects, and then Astrobot is their
100%.
Grand Slam. I think that's exactly
perfect.
right. You nailed it.
That's
Nailed
the
it.
perfect answer.
Okay.
Get a load of this. Get a load of
Okay.
this. Dead by Daylight, get a load of this.
Yep.
So they just did the Walking Dead chapter release in Dead by Daylight. So Rick Grimes is in there, Michonne. There's no killer. But they got the skins in there. There's a new map, which
What
has
kind of what are the Rick skins? Just
they
the,
have
sheriff?
Hospital Rick.
They have Hospital Rick?
Yeah, and just normal Rick. And then Michonne is like with her cool red hood Michonne, or then just like normal Michonne. But Michonne has a game-breaking perk that's like one of the best perks they've released in a long time. So everyone's running Michonne. Anyways, so they always do like kind of like a live stream. Like when they did Stranger Things, they had the Stranger Things kids on to play the game, whatever. So they had the guy who plays Carl Grimes, Raymond something. Sorry, I forget
Chandler.
his name.
No,
Raymond Chandler.
that's a
Wait, that's an author. That's the author of The Big Sleep. So they had him on, and he was supposed to be playing with some live streamers. And additional context is like Dead by Daylight's had horrible cheating issues the last few years, like really, really bad. And it just feels like nothing's getting fixed. So, anyways, they were supposed to have this nice stream where Carl gets to play with everybody, and he actually plays Dead by Daylight, so it's sort of fun. But the lobby was just getting DDoSed like crazy, and they couldn't play a single game. And then the streamers were like, "Oh, we have a solution. Let's just put our mods in fill out the lobby with mods who we know are not going to DDoS, and then we can play this game. It'll be fine." And I think the issue was they didn't want to seem like their servers are so bad they need this workaround solution for it to work. So they said, "No, we're not going to do that. We'll fix it." And then the stream, like I watched this entire stream of them just like stalling for time, asking like, "So, what was your favorite season to record?" It was like so awkward. They're sitting there trying to play. They try to play 4 different games. None of them work. They get DDoSed every time. And then you can hear behavior staff in the background where the Chandler guy is like, "Oh, like Otz says that we should just fill it up with mods." And they go, "No, we're not going to do that." And then like shut it down or whatever. And they ended up just like saying, "Okay, we're ending the stream." And they've deleted the stream off their account. Everyone's like,
Wow.
everyone's like, "See, cheating is bad. It's happening in your own like live streams. Like you need to fix this, blah, blah, blah." And they have like they issued an apology. It's this whole stinky thing. And yeah, it was like the most awkward live stream I've ever watched because everyone's just like, "Can't wait for the game to start." It's like an hour and a half of that.
Oh,
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, get a load of this from the community where they share fun stories all day, every day. There's a lot of insider stuff. But here's just a nice reposting of this announcement from Lamb the Holloway. Posted that August 21st, Chibi Robo is coming to Nintendo Switch Online. You can play Chibi Robo on your Switch too. What a glorious day it is.
Great.
And reminder that if you want to watch a full playthrough, if you can't wait until that day, we did a full playthrough from the old MinnMax studio, whereas Jeff Cork and Sarah Pazorski and I playing through that entire game. And it is so much longer than you think it's going to be, especially when you're streaming it. Like, that is the most I've ever pushed Sarah to her limit and then beyond it. Because like we were there until, I don't know, my memory is it was like 3 in the morning or something. It was absurd. And also I ate like a ton of chips and a bunch of crap on the table. And my stomach has never been in more pain than during that stream. And I did not show it. Let the record show. I wasn't exploding any bathrooms. I thought I was going to pass out. My stomach hurt so bad during this stream. But it was a very fun, deranged stream. So you can check that out on MinnMax's YouTube channel if you want to see a true Sarah meltdown of epic proportions, I'd say.
Oh, I can already hear
It was
the kind
fun.
of stuff she was yelling.
It was fun. But that is it for this episode of the MinnMax Show. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, listening, sharing. Michael Huber, sir, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. So
Betcha.
fun.
Easy Allies is your home base. Plug something. What are you proud of over there these days?
Just check out our podcast on Thursdays. Check it out. And group streams on Tuesdays. And Bloodworth and I are actually going to Gamescom.
Ooh,
So
awesome.
we'll have a ton of Gamescom coverage when we get back. We're loaded up Bloodworth style. He's got like 40 something
Oh my God.
games for us to check out. It's wild.
Awesome. Yeah, Janet Garcia and Ana Diaz are going to be there from MinnMax, so be sure
Yes.
to say hi if you're into them at any point. That's
Be on
kind
the
of
lookout for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one year I went to Gamescom. That was kind of the fun thing. Is like there's something really fun about being like in another country and just I don't know when you just feel more connected to the people from your industry you traveled with. Of just like it feels like there's
Yeah.
always like the small group of Americans or like Western press like hanging out.
A little
together
taste of
there.
home,
Yeah, it's nice. So I hope good bonds happen over there on that front.
For sure.
But let's see, at MinnMax, we have New Show Plus. We let the community vote each and every week for which new show we create or continue. And this week is the best case scenario where sometimes if it's a tie, if it's an exact statistical tie, and I think both these shows got like 226 votes or something, then we combine the ideas for the show. If it makes sense to combine it, then we did it. And this week was just like a happy coincidence. Yeah, where the shows were Chillin' by the Fire, where we played that weird Nintendo Switch 2 game, and taking Canadian citizenship tests. So we combined that, and so the show was Haley and Leo and Jacob and I taking Canadian citizenship tests while chilling by a fire on the Switch 2 game. And it was a bizarre... How would you describe that episode, Haley? How did it feel for you?
It's weird that the point of the game did work on us. Like we all kind of zoned out and had some nice combos.
Yeah, I did.
And that's what I was reading the comments of that. So like, why is the vibes in this are immaculate? I think it's because the game got us in a pretty good like zone out state.
Yeah, it worked out. So it's so fun to have that community balance that out so it's exactly a tie. Like, no one's jumping at the last second and be like, I want my choice. It's like it just so happened to work out so well that time. But we're not doing it every time, just when it makes sense. And the content would be better if we do combine it. But we also have, Max spoilers for Death Stranding 2. The plan is to put that up on YouTube and in the bonus podcast feed early next week. So look alive for that. But then this coming Monday, we'll be posting the travelogue showing off our full MinnMax summer trip and summer meetup. This is where everybody, except for Haley, sadly, thanks to U.S. Customs, we're in Minneapolis together, and we recorded a lot of footage. So if you're at the $10 tier, you can unlock the 10-hour version of our entire summer trip.
Just having the most raging FOMO of my life, and I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, it is fun. Like editing it down, it's like, that 10-hour version does feel like the real version. It's like, there's so much good stuff here, but like I can't post this whole thing. But like I know there's some parasocial gross stuff here, so forgive me, but it's like, I would love to see what a large group of us hanging out by a real fire talk about for an extended period of time, like that's what the 10-hour version is all about. And so there's a lot of good extended stuff in there. So hope you all enjoy that travelogue. If you remember this podcast, I think like summer of last year, where we had many discussions about who would win in a race, Janet Garcia or myself. We finally settled it in this travelogue. There's a big section of the travelogue, which is quite epic if you want to watch that.
I would put my money on Janet for sure.
Well, tune in to see how it all goes. Travelogue going up on Monday. It's going to be, up on YouTube.
That's a little cheeky smile from Ben.
No cheeks here. No cheeks here. No cheeks here. Tune in. The travelogue's going up on Monday, and then the 10-hour version, is available for Backstage Pass supporters. All right, that's it. Jeff, you got anything you want to scream about, dude?
No. You can... No. Nope. I forgot when this is coming out, so forget it. All
right. Well, there you go. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time. Be good. Have fun. Let's go.